values, beliefs, and principles. Give them a call, 356-6700. Advertising with the Alabama Gazette is surprisingly affordable and extremely effective. 356-6700, the Alabama Gazette. Honest, informative, trustworthy, your conservative alternative newspaper. Real local news from real local people. The Alabama Gazette, they are most worthy of your support. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. 356-6700, give them a call. The Alabama Gazette, the people's paper.
Hello everyone, Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
This afternoon we've seen a whole lot of table banging.
If you're going to cough, please leave.
Is that how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you, Chancellor, Dr. Paper, and thank you, Chancellor.
You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from which.
Shut up, silly woman.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon, folks. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Let me get there up on the screen. We are now live streaming the show for those of you who don't know or who are on Valium and forgot. YouTube. Joey Clark Alive on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And as is tradition, here on Tuesdays to kick off the show, we have the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano on the stream with us. Judge, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fine, Joey. I don't remember hearing before, and maybe it's my age or maybe it's new, that one-liner from Ronald Reagan, government is not the, on your intro. I've heard it before, but not here. Government is not the solution to our problems. Government is the problem.
Amen.
And his other one-liner, the 9 most dangerous words in the English language are, hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you.
Now, did you see, we've got the clip coming up later in the show, that the Secretary of Education for Biden quoted that last Reagan quote, we're from the government and we're here to help, like it was a positive thing.
Oh, good God. I don't even know who his Secretary of Education is, and I could wring George W. Bush's neck for even establishing a Department of Education. That's not in the Constitution. When I say wring his neck, I mean euphemistically.
Sure.
Chastise him verbally. I don't know where we're going to go with all this. You know, in Reagan's first inaugural address, he said, and let me remind you that the states formed the federal government and not the other way around. Now, if I had been the scrivener, I would have added the following line, and your listeners will love this. And the powers which the states gave to the federal government, they can take back. But I wasn't the scrivener, and the scrivener didn't put it in there, and he didn't read it. So,
well, and I'm also wondering how many of them, maybe by context, but there are a lot of folks out listening going, scrivener? What is that?
Oh.
So, you know.
The guy who wrote it.
Now, speaking of, kind of the Civil War era, kind of that people will claim that that settled the question of states' rights, and in particular the right to secession. And, we're seeing right now the 14th Amendment tested in ways maybe not thought of with Trump's candidacy and trying to take him off the ballot. And we can get to that in a second. But what is is there any Supreme Court ruling? Is there any precedent at a high level that says, other than the North won the war, is there something legally, logically, persuasively that it actually says, no, you can't secede?
There's one statement. It's not legal, it's not logical, and it's not persuasive. It's what we call dicta. Dicta, D-I-C-T-A, is a statement in a judicial opinion not necessary for the result of the opinion. It is just the personal opinion of the author of the opinion, if you follow me.
Right.
So in a case called Texas versus White, the White family bought Confederate bonds from the government of Texas. The war between the state was over. The White family presented these bonds to the government of Texas for redemption. The government of Texas says, we're not even the same government. You bought it from the Confederate government. We're a new government of Texas. The White family said, no, Texas is Texas. We loaned the money, and they built these buildings, and they bought these armaments. Case went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court sided with the new state of Texas and said, you don't owe the debt of the old state. In that opinion, there is a throwaway line from the Chief Justice, whose name is also White, not related to the people that filed the complaint, in which he said, I would think if a state wants to secede today, it would take the consent of 3/4 of the other states. Nowhere where he got that from. It takes 3/4 of the states to amend the Constitution. It doesn't take 3/4 of the states to welcome a new state in. So this is just dicta. That is the only reference post-war between the states that purports to be lawful on the matter of secession. Pre-war between the states, when the Alien and Sedition Acts were enacted by Congress. So it's now 1798. They made it a crime to criticize the government. You go to jail. Congressman Lyons famously went to jail for mocking the president's waistline. You've heard me tell that story. There are 2 states that purported to nullify the Alien and Sedition Acts, Virginia and Kentucky. In those nullification resolutions, they also claimed the right to secede. Now, those were enacted by state legislatures and signed by state governors, but the significance is who wrote them. So they were authored in secret, and then eventually came out after the authors died. The Virginia resolution was written by James Madison, the guy who wrote the scrivener of the Constitution. The Kentucky resolution was written by Thomas Jefferson, the guy who wrote the Declaration of Independence. And they both say it is universally recognized and understood that a state that voluntarily enters can voluntarily leave. Now I have given you a mini dissertation on this.
Well, it's what I appreciate very much. I wish more of the world would start to see this as, I think it's a good way to avoid war. I think it's a good way to allow freedom to bloom in all its manifestations. We can kind of agree on what we should not do in life. There are some basic ones that go back thousands of years. But
I'm going to give you 2 more. When Vermont, which was an independent republic, and back to Texas, Texas was an independent republic, and they joined the Union. They both expressly reserved the right to leave.
Hear, hear.
Can you imagine what the feds would do if Texas left the Union and if all those oil billionaires didn't have to pay income tax?
It would be amazing. I would be moving to Texas as they would have
Same
me.
here.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. And now I mentioned earlier, and again, folks, talking to Judge Andrew Napolitano. You can always check out his podcast, Judging Freedom, on YouTube. You can watch it, but you can also listen wherever podcasts are available. And now with the 14th Amendment cases going on, I know one was just denied in Rhode Island, one in New Hampshire. I think it was a case brought by the same guy in those two cases. My sense from reading quickly was that he didn't have standing. But there's also this 14th Amendment case going on in the Colorado system, and the Colorado Supreme Court's about to hear it. What's kind of the latest, in particular with the focus on Colorado?
Okay. The Colorado case is very problematic for Trump, and I don't know if his lawyers know it. I have looked in the screen like I am now and said, Mr. President, you should appeal this, and here's why. And I'll tell you why. But first, I got to tell you about the others. The others ruled Rhode Island, Minnesota, one more that I can't, Michigan, either ruled that the plaintiff doesn't have standing, meaning his ox wasn't gored. There's no harm unique to him, or Trump is not on the ballot for president. He's on the ballot for the Republican nomination for president. The Republican Party is a private entity that has an arrangement with the state to take a poll amongst Republican members of this private entity, and it's not the presidency. So those three cases, Rhode Island, Michigan, and Minnesota, are not what we call on the merits. Colorado is on the merits, meaning this judge held a 4-week trial in which Trump participated, and he lost because the judge found, after listening to testimony on both sides, that Donald Trump did participate in and support an insurrection. She then found that the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to the presidency because it doesn't mention the presidency by name. An oddball argument that wasn't even made by the lawyers for Trump. But the problem is a doctrine called, I used one Latin word, dicta, I'm going to use two more, a doctrine called res judicata, which basically means a thing once litigated cannot be relitigated as long as the person who lost participated in the litigation. So if this case comes up in New Jersey or in Pennsylvania, judges there will very well say res judicata. This thing has already been decided by another court of the same level that I am, a trial court of general jurisdiction. Mr. President, you participated and you lost. We're not going to rehash it. So the issue is not, did you engage in an insurrection? The issue is, should you be barred? This is potentially devastating for Trump, and I don't think his people perceive it that way. They may not be looking at it through the fine legal lens that I am, because Trump rejoiced and said, hey, I won in Colorado. I won. My name's on the ballot. Read the fine print.
Right. Wow.
Now, in my own view of history is this. Put aside how the 14th Amendment was ratified. Justice Scalia once said the Congress put a gun to the heads of the legislators in the southern states and said, ratify 13, 14, 15. He's basically right. And if they didn't, then the federal troops were going to stay in the streets and there would be no legislature with any teeth, and the generals that were in charge would be running the state. They eventually caved and ratified, although I don't think Mississippi ratified the 14th Amendment until a few years ago. Another story for another time. New Jersey and Ohio rescinded their ratifications. The Congress counted them anyway. Put those issues aside. For the 50 years following the 14th Amendment, the people that ran elections did not require due process. Oh, Joey Clark, he's from Alabama. We saw him in a Confederate uniform once. He can't run. That was the end of it. No trial, no due process. That was the end of it. Judge Napolitano, he once said you had the right to secede. That's supporting the Confederacy. He can't run. So it was that type of flimsy evidence with nothing proved, but just some sort of a consensus that kept somebody off the ballot. As we got into the 20th century and our notions of due process became more refined, the courts have basically said the government can't take life, liberty, which is what this is, or property without due process, meaning there would have to be a trial. There was a trial in Colorado, and he participated, and he didn't take it seriously, and he lost. I don't know where this is going to go.
Well, and I imagine this is a subject I'll continue to ask you about because I am trying to find any sort of clarity as we head into 2024 because it's going to be quite crazy. And
I'm doing my best to clarify this for you. This is really virgin territory, just like indicting and trying for felonies. A former president is virgin territory. I do a lot of shows like I'm doing yours. Not all are as enjoyable as yours, but and a lot of them say to me, "You think he's going to go to jail?" Well, I think he's going to be convicted in D.C. I don't know if she's going to send him to jail, and that trial is going to be before the Republican National Convention.
Well, uncharted waters, and I've got a great article here I'll share with the audience later about hate speech. Walter Block, I think you know that gentleman, right?
I'm a dear fan and acolyte of Walter Block.
And he argues how it's just such a nonsense term, and be careful if you're the one making the argument that something's hate speech and ban it. The shoe might be on the other foot, so to speak. But what I wrote about this week, and we can close with this, I almost put myself in, if I wanted to take away people's liberty, and not just any people, like people who had learned to love their liberty and defend it with their life, how would I go about it? And it brings up this question in mind. We have, going back a few generations, dystopian novels. Think of Brave New World by Huxley or 1984 by George Orwell. What world was correct? Who foresaw the future of tyranny? And how would you go about subjugating a people that even today say, hey, we're free. We're the freest nation on earth, and maybe in relative terms we are. But who was right in kind of the predictions on how tyranny and authoritarianism would reign going forward?
Well, surely Orwell was right, who predicted that technology would be used by the government to monitor our every movement. And who also predicted, do you remember Emmanuel Goldstein? He wasn't even a person that existed. They made up the name. He was the enemy that everybody hated. And thousands of people would go into stadiums and curse and scream at this picture of a human being that didn't even exist. So the concept of a common enemy and demonizing the enemy makes it easy for government to take away the rights of those who refuse to demonize. And in that respect, all of these dystopian novelists have their finger on it. And we're very close, sadly, Joey, we're very close to that now. My piece this week, which I just finished writing, the editor has it at the moment, is about 702 again, Section 702 of the Patriot Act that allows the feds to spy on foreign persons and the people they communicate who are American without search warrants. The thing that has aggravated the daylights out of me is, well, the title of the piece is, "Hey, Mike Johnson, it's a constitution you're trashing." Because the Speaker of the House was against 702 when he was just Congressman Mike Johnson. The Speaker of the House wanted an up or down vote on 702 when he was Congressman Mike Johnson. And now that he's Speaker Mike Johnson, he's putting the goddamn thing in the middle of the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. So to vote against 702, you have to vote to defund the Pentagon, which nobody in their right mind is going to do. It's an insidious thing that he's doing. He's worse than Kevin McCarthy at his big government best.
Wow.
Because at least McCarthy was honest about what he was doing.
Well, I look forward to reading it, Judge, and I always appreciate your time. If people want to check out Judging Freedom, God, you're worked up there. I like it. I like seeing that. But if people want to, what's coming up on Judging Freedom on the podcast?
I have two of my young ex-military people today. Matthew Ho, ex-Marine. Of course, if I say ex-Marine, he gets all excited. There's no such thing as an ex-Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Matthew was also in the State Department. And Karen Kwiatkowski. They are analyzing lies the government has told us in Ukraine and in Israel/Hamas.
Well, until next week, Judge, all the best, God bless, and Merry Christmas early.
Right back at you, Joey. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Again, that's Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always great having him here on the program. Let's bring in Eddie Boy here. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing all right. And then we have did I plan this, or is this just a surprise? Jacqueline Tomlinson is here.
It's a surprise.
How you doing?
Great surprise, dude.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, other than you trying to distract me while I'm talking to the judge.
I cannot get you to crack a face. You're over there just like stoic.
I've been working on it. I've been reading my Marcus Aurelius.
I mean, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
I'll give you a 10 out of 10.
Like, is it really a good thing for Stoicism that, like, he's so brilliant, he knows how to, Marcus Aurelius, and then he puts Commodus in charge, his own son, and it goes to hell?
Things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, life happens, Joey.
Yeah,
Things happen.
Guess you got to learn what you can and can't control at the end of the day.
That's
and knowing the difference is the key, right?
There you go.
But what do I owe this honor?
Well, I was in the neighborhood and I needed to stop by, and so I was like, I'm gonna just bebop in and say hello.
Plus, look at her new name tag.
I have a name tag.
I love the name
I like
tag.
it.
I think everyone
It's got
should
my
wear
name
tags.
on it.
Yes.
So how's the campaigning going?
The campaign's going well. We have our first fundraiser planned for next week.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to do it at, what, is Thursday? Is it the 7th?
Yep.
At Coach's Corner.
Oh,
And we
nice.
talked
At
That's a good spot.
6. Yeah, so it's our first fundraiser kickoff event, and it'll be a good time.
It'll be
So
exciting.
I'm just bebopping around, running the roads, still practicing law full time, momming full time, campaigning full time.
Man, that's a lot.
I
It
like
is.
live in my best. Oh, not to mention, like, we're in Christmas mode.
I was going to say we're in Christmas mode, so that's a big chunk of what you do this time of year.
Well, and that's just so much. And then I'm also seeing what my brother and his wife with a new baby, she's just, I think, started back at work.
So boy. Sweet.
And like, there's just so many, like, it's amazing. Yes. And I just wrote about how, hey, maybe
do it.
I should have kids, but I'm still a 35-year-old bachelor, will be
Hey,
on Friday.
I was 36 when I had. Well, I was 37 when I had Lola.
Yeah, but you had a partner.
We can find Joey.
I know.
Don't start this today.
Please, I'm ready to do this whenever you are.
I am ready.
Well, and the point I was about to make is, like, I see all these obligations and all these responsibilities that give life meaning and that extra.
It's
to
so worth it. It's so worth it.
But it seems so tiring.
But here's the thing.
I like working 3 hours a day. My plan is to work even less hours and make more money in the next few years.
Good luck with that.
But here's the cop out for me. So as a mom of 2, when they go to bed, I go to bed. So instead of having those like nights where I was staying up till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, binge watching Netflix or something, come 8:30, don't text me. Don't text me, don't call me. Like, I'm in bed. Like, Lola and Steven are down.
Right.
My phone is flipped over on the charger. Like, I'll text you at 5:30 when I get up.
Very smart. Anything you binged lately? With all the busyness, when you lay down finally.
Yeah, so we are on. I've watched The Grinch. The Dr. Seuss Grinch.
Yes. That's good. That's good.
About 9 times since Thanksgiving.
Like the original cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
My kids are in a Grinch era.
Okay.
We're still watching The Nightmare Before Christmas by Tim Burton because it's a Christmas and Halloween movie.
Stretching that out.
So there we go.
That's a classic.
Yeah, my feral 3-year-old, that is her favorite movie. So she either wants to watch The Little Mermaid, the original.
Good.
The original.
Okay.
Or The Nightmare Before Christmas. So
How's dance class going with Lola, by the way?
Oh my God. Okay, so not this weekend, but next weekend, the 9th.
Yes.
Lola has her first little Christmas cantata.
Oh, really?
Cantata?
I know. So she.
You and Judge Napolitano using words I don't understand.
Listen. So okay. And I paid for it. Don't trust me.
You did.
But I picked her up from dance the other day. They make me stay outside.
Right.
The parents cannot see the magic that is happening inside the building.
Smart.
So I pick Lola up and they hand me this like bag. And I'm like, what's in the bag? So I get in the car and I'm like, ooh, okay, Christmas morning. I can wrap it. It is the most adorable reindeer costume you've ever seen.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We're talking sequins and buttons and gold and white gloves and reindeer antlers with bells on them.
Oh, my goodness.
Listen, I don't care what she does. It's going to be adorable in that outfit.
Oh, no doubt.
And Dana's daughter, Emmy, is also in her class. So at Christmas on the Coosa, weather permitting, we will have 2 little reindeers up there on that float.
Awesome.
Because they are the cutest things you've ever seen.
Yeah, that sounds Well, it sounds fulfilling. It sounds adorable. It sounds amazing. But then I come back to like, that also sounds like a lot of work. Like,
it is, but it's rewarding work. So there's a difference, you know?
But I've realized something. There are a lot of folks out there who's like, I want to set Joey up. I've had everybody, like, you could all walks of life say, I'm going to help Joey find a lady and settle down. But there's this whole other cohort of people, men, usually probably in their 40s or 50s or 60s, who maybe been through a few marriages, and they're like, dadgum, Joey got it figured out already. He didn't make the same mistakes I did.
What about the men that want you to come join us in our misery of being married?
I mean, call Jared.
Yeah, they
call
exist.
Jared.
Thank you.
He'll be like, yeah.
Why do I need jewelry?
She's not. He went to Jared. I mean, he'll tell you every day. He's like, man, I got it rough. But at the same time, you know, the good does outweigh the bad.
Well, and talk about a job that demands responsibility. He's a cop.
I know, he's a cop on top
right?
of
that. Dadgum.
And he has to deal with me all the time.
Like, could y'all see me as a police officer?
I'd want you to pull me over because I know for $5 I can get away. So yeah.
I think you would be great at it.
Not, yeah, maybe for bachelorette parties.
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm like, I mean, I'd hire you.
Not the same,
that activity down
not the same thing. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Less hours, more money.
I mean, you could do it for like 1 hour and make as much money.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
And you could still have the
hey, I could moonlight doing that.
You can moon something.
Mm-hmm.
I can be your booker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Just let me know. We can do this.
Joey Clark, private eye.
I'll make your mix for you.
Well, it's great seeing you.
I know. I gotta run. I got tons of things to do. But yeah, I'll be back. I'll be around. You never know when I'm gonna pop in.
I know. I love that.
I'm like, hey.
And in fairness, if you're an opponent in this race, you can pop in too if you like. But,
I just popped in.
Yeah.
This wasn't a scheduled thing or anything.
But I appreciate you, Joey.
Absolutely, guys. Have a good rest of your show.
Thank you, hon.
And this part of the program brought to you by XI Repair.
Oh, yeah.
And you go by there all the time, don't you, Eddie?
I have my issues, so occasionally I have to go by XI Repair, maybe once or twice a week for different things. Mainly just user error, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But they're always very patient about it. When I bring something in and I go, hey, I've kind of messed something up or I've lost it on my phone, they're very patient because they know one day I'll probably return again with a broken screen. And yes, they'll take care of me for that too. Which I've been in there, I think, 2 broken screens in the past 3 years.
Wow.
A realtor, you know.
Yeah, you're busy. You're responsible. You're working hard all the live long day. And yeah, sometimes those electronics just go bad, or you drop it,
or you throw it. Yeah, it happens, Joey.
Or you throw it. Yeah, if you throw it, I think there's something to that. But XI Repair can fix it all, folks. Smartphones, laptop computers, desktop computers, top-end gaming consoles like a PS5. They can even do data recovery.
Yes.
So maybe you're going through a litigation, like a business deal that fell through, or divorce. Divorce is no fun. People try to delete incriminating emails and texts, though.
Yes, they do, Joe.
So have your attorney contact XI Repair, and they can actually recover a lot of so-called deleted data out there. And they can even accept old electronics to sort of recycle. Right. Now, call them first before you just drop by with stuff. 777-1234. That's 777-1234. And you can actually start a job online at xirepair.com. That's the letter X, the letter I, repair.com. And be sure to tell those fine folks there at XI Repair that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. Should we hit a break?
Let's break, man.
I think we should. More News and Views in the Afternoon after this.
Not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot. Is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh, man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest. He's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Cyber Golden Gable deals are here at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 45% off and save an extra $100 on every $800 you spend on select major appliances. And there's more. Get the DeWalt 20-volt Max Drill Kit for $99. Was $159. Hurry, these savings won't last because Lowe's knows deals. Valid to 11/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Actor portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Next contestant. Honey, you look confused. What's wrong?
I'm having a hard time remembering to take my medications like I'm supposed to. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you.
I'm glad you told me, because I heard that Adams Drugs has a medicine on time service that will package your monthly medications and make them easier to manage. Our neighbors, Bill and Leslie, mentioned the other day that they use Adams and how they have made it so easy for them to manage their medications.
Do you think we can call Adams Drugs or go by there and see if they can help me? I don't want to get to the point where you have to put me into an assisted living home.
Why don't you get your medications together right now, and let's go down to Adams and talk to the pharmacist.
How much does the medicine on time service cost?
I asked Bill that same question, and he told me it's a free service for Adams customers.
Free? Wow, I'm feeling really good about this already. Let me grab my meds list.
Call Adams Drugs Medicine on time for your pharmacist consultation. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for more information on our Medicine on Time packaging service.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Below normal temperatures will continue at least through Thursday, but at least we're storm-free until late week. Today, more sunshine, quite cool but not cold, high 57. Tonight will be the coldest night of the week with a low temperature in the upper 20s by dawn, clear skies. Wednesday's high 59, more sun, low 60s Thursday, still dry during the day. Then showers and thunderstorms become likely by late Thursday night into Friday. That's round one. Second round of rain returns on Saturday and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. 272-9228.
Hey, Sam just sent a message, said he's about to hang some Christmas lights out in the front of the farm. If we would speak up for him, he'd appreciate it. Now,
Yeah.
That ain't country. I don't know what country is.
Now, Gumptown John is saying, as a divorcee myself, get a prenup.
Not worth papers printed on.
Really? The court won't. We just had a divorce lawyer in here running to be judge. We could have found out the truth there, but
You might win in the end, but you're still going to pay her lawyer, which sometimes is as much as,
Intolerable Cruelty is the Coen Brothers movie that comes to mind. It's George Clooney and Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Yes.
and she's like the one who's the gold digger, and he's the famous divorce lawyer, and they get married, and then they go toe-to-toe in court.
The War of the Roses comes to mind with me, Joe.
The War of the Roses.
That was a man.
So
that was-
you can't watch Game of Thrones without flashbacks, then.
Right. Because I'm telling you that at that time in my life, that's what it felt like was going on.
Gumptown John goes on. He says, in the words of Kanye, yay, holla, we want prenup. Well, thank you for that, Gumptown John. Wonder how Ye's doing.
I bet he's kind of right now.
Like, I don't feel bad for the guy. But
No.
I maintain he's pulling, like, when Prince changed his name to that unpronounceable symbol.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what Kanye is up to. Now, Prince did it in his unique way, but he became so weird
Right.
that it's like Warner Brothers had to drop him. And he just started doing esoteric music. Like, he started doing things on purpose to ruin his publicity so he'd get dropped, get out of his contract. I think that's exactly what Kanye did. He just went nuclear with it, with the straight-up Hitler praising anti-Semitism. But there's a clip of Ye right after he did that saying, oh, they dropped that $1 billion contract just like that.
Well, there you go.
Well, and Adidas is a German company,
Yeah,
so I think
very German.
gentlemen, we don't want to, but we have to, you know.
Yeah. Maybe, Joe.
I think there's something to that. I think there's definitely something to that. Now,
the only way I think you can legally get out without, losing everything.
Well, talking about $1 billion mistakes, I was listening to a great podcast this morning, Patrick Bet-David's. They had on Jeremy Boring of the Daily Wire. I showed you that trailer.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
It's called Lady Ballers. It's a comedy movie coming out on Daily Wire Plus. I've got Daily Wire Plus for work purposes, but I'll probably watch it.
Is this something they make movies often on that?
Yeah, they're now really ramping it up. They're making, in particular, and this is the part of the conversation between Bet David and Jeremy Boring I really liked. I liked the whole thing, but this was fascinating. In particular, is all the headlines today about how Disney is getting smacked around, in particular by the invisible hand of the market.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how invisible these hands are. There are a lot of people going, we're tired of your crap movies.
Well, I think you saw, I don't know if it was a response, but a report from Disney Day on Fox about how they had an employee meeting, basically, and they said, yes, we acknowledge the fact that our politics has kind of gotten in the way of our bottom line. But I didn't read it far enough to know if they're going to change anything or if they're just making that announcement.
Oh, no, I think they're going to have to change things. And Boring and Bet David got into a fascinating discussion. They're both CEOs, both run pretty big companies. And, let's say companies worth tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. They're not billionaires yet. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about how certain executives get so successful, they're allowed $1, maybe $2 billion mistakes.
Ooh.
And so they started talking about, most folks, if you might get to that market cap, but if you make that $1 billion mistake, you're out of business.
See ya.
But with somebody they praise, they say Bob Iger is probably the best CEO still alive.
Really?
What he did to create Disney and turn it into this behemoth. Think about it.
He did do that.
The right. Content library Iger put together is remarkable.
Yeah.
But he's not blameless because he's the one who picked his successor. If you're Bob Iger, it's not going to be a surprise to you who follows you.
Right.
And Kathleen Kennedy has been miserable running so much of the Disney content department.
You own Disney stock? You've been very upset with her for quite some time.
And all these folks are like, oh, what do you want from us? What like good movies. We're tired of the just throw all the superheroes together with a bunch of CGI special effects, and we're tired of it. In the words of South Park's Pandaverse, put a chick in it, make it gay. It's like,
Joey,
give me a break.
What it is I think they don't have any respect for the audience and saying they're so dumb. We can throw all the action guys together, throw some CGI in there, call it done. They'll buy it anyway.
Now, this is from Jonathan Turley on his website. He writes, in recent filings, Disney appears concerned that the quote-unquote invisible hand of Adam Smith is effectively giving the House of Mouse the middle finger. In a new corporate disclosure, Disney acknowledges that its controversial political and social agenda is costing the company and shareholders. In its annual SEC report, Disney acknowledges that, quote, we face risk relating to misalignment with public and consumer taste and preferences for entertainment, travel, and consumer products. In an implied nod to Adam Smith and the invisible hand, the company observes that, quote, the success of our businesses depends on our ability to consistently create compelling content.
Yes.
And that, quote, generally, our revenues and profitability are adversely impacted when our entertainment offerings and products, as well as our methods to make our offerings and products available to consumers, do not achieve sufficient consumer acceptance.
Yeah.
If people aren't buying what you're selling, you got a problem if you're in business. Further, consumers' perceptions of our positions on matters of public interest, including our efforts to achieve certain of our environmental and social goals, the ESG and DEI stuff, often differ widely and present risks to our reputation and brands. Wow.
Yeah.
So for a while, Disney and other companies previously ignored consumer backlash. And Jeremy Boring made this fantastic point. If you want to go watch it, Patrick Bet David, go look up his podcast. It was great. He said Disney, talk about not just $1 billion failure in this last few years, but Disney had the faith and trust of parents for 5 or 6 generations.
At least, yeah.
That you knew if you're sending a kid to a Disney movie,
no
it's going to be not just not bad. It's probably going to be something worthwhile.
Right.
Think of how many people living right now are still Disney people. Their worldview is shaped by Disney. And I have a few problems with that, but they've squandered that now.
Yeah.
And there are companies, you asked about the Daily Wire. Yeah, they're now creating a lot of children's content. In particular, Disney's Snow White kind of blew up.
Right.
Because it was going to be called Girl Boss and the Seven Freaks, not Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. Well, they scrapped all the Seven Freaks. Right. They're now putting in CGI dwarves, all this stuff. And so while they're doing all this, Snow White's a publicly available property or ID.
Yeah.
Intellectual property. And so they're making a Snow White with Brett Cooper, who's a trained actress and singer, but also one of their podcast hosts.
Yeah.
And they're just leaning into the entertainment stuff. And in particular, they're constantly just needling these big companies. And this is how the market and the invisible hand should work.
I'm wondering, though, if they're saying, okay, our message is we're kind of plateaued with our message. How else can we get it to people, new people?
Yeah.
You come out with that comedy movie like that. How many people younger than us, and I say young, I mean teenagers, early 20s, will look at that, find interest in it, and that's their launching thing. Yeah,
and they talked about how the Daily Wire is kind of, and I'd imagine our show to a degree, and a lot of political shows these days, left or right, you're sort of already preaching to the already converted. Yeah. You're preaching to the choir, so to speak, but who else are you going to preach to? They're the ones that actually show up to church on Sunday, me being Catholic. Don't some people meet on Wednesday night?
Some people meet Saturday.
Well,
Saturday church.
Yeah, but often Judaism ain't evangelizing. Like, you can join us and convert if you want, but go away. You got to really try to convert to Judaism. It's not like the Protestant Christians by any means.
Oh, you're right.
Or the Islamists by any means.
They're kind of strict.
Yeah. Anyway.
Got some rules.
But who else are you going to talk to? You talk to the folks who show up. Yeah. But the idea is you kind of give those people ammunition when they're arguing with the everyday person or their family member at Thanksgiving, that they know what they're talking about. But I think you're right. I think if you create a comedy movie or a children's program,
you can start reaching the youth.
Yeah, more and more people go, oh, I just like it because I like it.
Right.
And I think that is the future fight. The classic, the triumvirate of values is what? Goodness, truth, and beauty.
Beauty.
And I think actually the way you win back the culture, you actually get people back to something approximating God. which is a whole other conversation, is through beauty. And that can sometimes be a beautiful, painting or a spectacle, like a big show that captures everybody's imagination. But sometimes it's, this discrete little programming that it doesn't reach billions, but it reaches enough and starts to change things.
I agree with that, and it's a little off subject, but like with Bruce Pearl in Auburn, when they had that huge baptism, to me that was as organic as can be, and absolutely beautiful. And I don't claim to be the most religious person by no means, but to me that was absolutely beautiful. And what happened? Within 48 hours, you had people coming in to damn that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not the most religious person at all. However, I thought that was a beautiful moment. There was nothing bad that happened at all. But you're going to come out and damn that?
Right.
Man, you really need to look in the mirror.
Yeah, I find myself in a weird point, and I guess I'm bearing a little bit of my soul here, where I talk to my very devout friends, whether they're Catholic or Baptist or Protestant of any type, and I have to admit to them, I can't fully jump into the waters of belief. I have trouble believing. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm trying, and I'm trying to read the scriptures. I'm trying to understand things. But I know I disappoint some folks, so I can't go all the way with you. I can go maybe 80%, maybe 90 even on some days.
But with religion, that's each individual person.
But that's just with the devout crowd. I'll then find myself turning to more not your everyday person, but kind of your explicitly secular crowd. Yeah. And how they mock, say, the religious and mock the scriptures. I want to be like, have some GD respect. And so I find myself in this opposition. The beautiful thing is I don't think I'm alone. I think this is what's happening in the culture. You have a lot of folks who are searching or kind of fell out of favor of going to church. Mm-hmm. Often that happens in young people's lives. Yeah. But eventually you're starting to see this coming back.
Coming back to the church, I agree.
And again, I don't know where it goes, and the church is a very big concept. It will depend on what local community you plug yourself into, so to speak. But I think it's a healthy thing for the culture. And
definitely.
There is, to your point, Eddie, going to be a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth. There are going to be some folks, I think, who reveal themselves that essentially say, hey, how dare you judge me? And it's like, I don't want to use the government against you. I don't want to pass a law against you, but I think you're doing is depraved and gross, and you should stop it. And they're going to yell to high heaven that how dare, no, I have every right.
I have every right to.
And I think if we actually get back to true freedom and liberty in this country, that's when you need your judgments the most.
Yes.
Because people are free. You got to win with persuasion. But again, because you have to win with persuasion, you better develop that conscience and those ideas. And often the beautiful thing is, I think average Americans don't need to lecture on morality. I think they're doing all right. There are problems we all have, common ones, from gluttony to lust, all sorts of things going on in this world.
Sure.
But I think the average person understands the basic principles of this country. They don't even have to say it, they just live it. And there are a lot of folks, I think, most frustrated by the fact when I try to just live it, I am put in timeout by the government.
Yep.
And they say, you didn't get a permission slip for that.
All right. No permit.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by, Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And they're at the Goodson Group. Bo and his team can help you whether you're buying a home or selling a home here in the River Region real estate market. But they can also help you manage that property if you turn it into a rental investment. Great idea in this market. I don't care what the larger economy's doing. Like this market always has turnover with the Air Force Base. This is a great market to invest in a rental property, but it can be a pain in the butt to manage that yourself.
Yes.
Unless you want to learn the hard way or you have past experience, why not, for a reasonable fee, have the Goodson Group do that for you? And then Bo's 40-plus years of experience really comes into play at the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed in the great state of Alabama because it's, interactive, and Bo's giving you real-life lessons from real-life scenarios. He's been through it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and so many folks who've graduated from the school to go on as very successful licensed realtors or just more knowledgeable private players. So check them out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com. That's thegoodsongroup.com, or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 272-9228. But speaking of this sort of, people use the example of boiling the frog, right?
Yep.
If you want to take away somebody's liberties, just boil the frog a little bit.
Yep.
It should work out. Well, one approach, and this is why I asked Judge Napolitano, is it more Brave New World or 1984? Who was right when they were predicting an authoritarian future? Who was right about it? And I think his answer showed some nuance that I think Orwell was right about a lot, especially the use of technology, about the, creating figures to hate, and that'll rally people. I think Orwell was incredibly insightful on the way Cold Wars would shift. It would go from, say, the Soviet Union and the United States to, oh, now all of a sudden the big bad's China. Right. And you'd have all these border wars, but never big war, and you'd be constantly taught to hate the other. I think Orwell got that completely right. But if you look at somebody like Aldous Huxley, I think Huxley got the more gauntlet in a velvet glove sort of idea down. Instead of smashing people, we'll get them to comply by, number one, conditioning them. And in Brave New World, people aren't born naturally. They're test tube. Everybody's a test tube baby. And you're born in a particular caste from alpha to epsilon.
Okay.
It's based on IQ and all sorts of abilities and whatnot. And this is all engineered. Now, we're not quite there, but gene editing has become something somebody can do in their garage. And they're doing it in China. But it's not just conditioning and literal gene editing. It is getting people hooked on drugs to get rid of their anxieties if they're not having a good time. It's distracting people with entertainment, often entertainment that doesn't instill a great classical story that tries to grope towards eternal values, but something that's all glitz and glam. I think it's called feelies in the novel. And so when you look at the combination of, say, Orwell's approach and Aldous Huxley's approach, it's kind of like we're there. Or we're getting very close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And such proximity to that sort of tyranny is unnerving. Like, how do you control folks? With threats of violence? Well, that's one way governments do it, but that's often the most obvious and the most costly for a government. They don't want to have to go there if they have their wits about them.
Sure.
They would rather nudge you into certain behaviors.
Yep.
And honestly, the nudging, the twisting of arms and the squeezing of necks has worked very well. Look at how professional associations, for instance, licensing boards were used to squeeze doctors or to squeeze certain lawyers or just squeeze anybody in any professional field.
During COVID,
yeah,
remember?
It looks like HR departments are some of the most powerful in corporate America. Why do you think Bob Iger agreed to all the ESG DEI crap?
Right.
He couldn't see the writing on the wall. He's no idiot by any. I mean, there he is on the TV.
Yeah.
But I think folks are starting to fight back. I think they're starting to see this is
waking up,
getting
that's
way
for
too
sure.
close to all the stories I was told as a kid about all the tyranny that could exist in the world. And it's beautiful to see people waking up. Now, does everybody know what they want to do with that realization, that revelation? No. We're still, I think, looking for the proper champions. Some say it's Trump. You might look at Elon Musk. You could look at big figures that have somehow beaten the Matrix, like, say, Joe Rogan. But I don't think we've still found the champions that are going to fully win the day just yet. I think 2024 is going to be one of those years, not just on account of the election, but I think a lot of weird stuff is about to come our way.
Definitely.
Stuff we do not quite yet understand. 272-9228. So when we come back, we've got a business break.
Right.
Wholesale Hunter looking forward to that. They're back in the studio. And then I'm going to read my op-ed.
Good.
And it's all about how, well, we charm we the people. Charming we the people into serfdom. Y'all stay tuned. 272-9228 if you want to jump in on the conversation. This part of the program also brought to you by Cole Plumbing. And they're Cole Plumbing. James Cole and his team, just fantastic folks. Best plumbers in town.
No doubt.
Well, and I mean, James Cole hired them, so they gotta be, man.
Yep.
Like, he really, great family, great at what they do. And at Cole Plumbing, of course, they have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you and your home to, well, solve that problem. Whether it's a burst pipe inside or outside your home, they're not going to have to dig up a huge hole in your yard or tear out a bunch of drywall. With precision and expertise, they can get the job done. But also at Cole Plumbing, they can help you with everyday problems from clogged drain, low water pressure, maybe even have a tree root invasion.
Not fun, but they
maybe
can fix it.
A gas line leak. Or it could be you don't have a clear problem, you want to just upgrade. They can do, say, a tankless water heater system for you or install new toilets, whatever it is, they're in the bathroom for you. Cole Plumbing's got your back. So check them out today. 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
More news and views in the afternoon. After this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A tribute service for Rosalind Carter taking place at Glen Memorial Church in Atlanta, with her husband, former President Jimmy Carter, leading a gathering of all living U.S. First Ladies and multiple presidents. She died November 19th at home in Plains, Georgia. American consumers feeling slightly more confident this month as the all-important holiday shopping season kicks into high gear. The Conference Board, a business research group, said that its Consumer Confidence Index rose to 102 from 99.1 in October. That index measures Americans' short-term expectations for income, business, and the job market. On Wall Street, the Dow had 74 points and the Nasdaq up fractionally. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group, because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Weather can change quickly here in the River Region. Stay up to date on all the latest weather news brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Below normal temperatures will continue at least through Thursday, but at least we're storm-free until late week. Today, more sunshine, quite cool but not cold, high 57. Tonight will be the coldest night of the week with a low temperature in the upper 20s by dawn, clear skies. Wednesday's high 59, more sun, low 60s Thursday, still dry during the day. Then showers and thunderstorms become likely by late Thursday night into Friday. That's round one. Second round of rain returns on Saturday and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you once again for voting ASE the best credit union and best mortgage company in Central Alabama's Reader's Choice Awards. We're honored to serve our members for 69 years and counting.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A manhunt has ended for a Lowndes County man who was wanted on multiple warrants in Elmore and Lowndes County. After eluding air and ground searches for weeks, 53-year-old Johnny Cotney was finally taken into custody Monday. Apparently, Cotney had been living in the woods east of Hayneville. The Prattville Police Department will hold a press conference today to update an August 6th murder investigation. The conference will take place in the 600 block of Covered Bridge Parkway, the same area where police found the body of a yet unnamed male victim who'd been shot and killed. A suspect is on the run following a deadly shooting in Dallas County. The shooting occurred Sunday following a baby shower in Marion Junction. 18-year-old Cedric Long is wanted for murder and attempted murder. Long may have connections in the Montgomery area and should be considered armed and dangerous. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
It's fall, y'all, at Mama's Produce, and boy, do we have what you need. We have mums of every color. Corn stalks will be in soon, pumpkins. We have fall flowers and fall vegetables. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Mama's Produce. We post what we have as soon as it comes in so that you're right there. Check out our gift ideas as well.
Y'all come on down to Mama's, right next to Prattville Farm Center, 1154 South Memorial Drive. Everybody loves Mama's.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader's still here in the studio.
I'm hanging out, bruh.
We're now welcoming into the studio Jason Mars with Wholesale Hunter. Jason, how are you today?
I'm doing great, guys. It's good to be here with you.
It's a good
to see
day.
you, man.
You have a good Thanksgiving festivities?
Yeah, got to spend it with the family, the wife, and kids.
Excellent.
It was relaxing.
Which side of the Iron Bowl are you on?
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
I was there. It was a great game to be there until the end. It was, so close. So freaking close. Have you been, how long has it been since you've been to Jordan Hare?
I took the kids there probably about 3 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Some of the stuff they do now in the stadium there is just remarkable. Like the lighting and the sound. And like, it was larger than life from what I remember being there in college.
Well, I was there when you were there, Joe. I graduated in 2012.
Okay. Yeah. Mine was spring of 11. So. Yeah, so you were there for the Cam Newton stuff. Yeah, we were spoiled.
We were. We didn't know how good we had it.
Yeah, that was a fun year.
I like what you said about the student section that got a little rowdy. So they had this speaker that just...
Oh, yeah, the chant that was very loud from where I was sitting. It was the whole south end of the stadium started saying, F you, Bama. And it wasn't just the abbreviation. And all of a sudden the loudspeaker comes on. Like trying to drown it out.
I love that idea.
Oh, my goodness. But now as we head into the holidays, I'd imagine, well, it's always kind of the right time of year to go buy Wholesale Hunter, but y'all have anything going on for the holidays there?
We're actually running some sales now through the end of the year. We're picking items out weekly to put on sale. Just recently, last week and week before, we had some 9mm 50-round boxes on sale for $9 a box.
Okay.
So we're going to have deals like that going forward to the end of the year. You'll just have to sign up for our newsletter or watch our website and see what we're putting out.
And the website's simple enough, folks, wholesalehunter.com. And people, locally here can just stop by, of course, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We have an open door policy. You guys can come in, look around, ask any questions. If you guys want to handle any of the firearms, we're more than happy to go through everything with you, make sure you're comfortable with everything.
Now, where is the firearms and especially ammunition market these days with everything going on in the world?
It is getting scarce again. Everything is turning hard to get again. All cheap ammunition and firearms are quickly drying up. If I was a consumer, I'd be buying anything I wanted with now, because come the turn of the year, you may not be able to get it.
Okay. Eddie, you listening?
I'm listening.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Make sure you're paying attention here.
Yeah, the $9 ammo got away from me, but nothing else will.
Yeah, we normally sell those for $14.99 a box.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So, and it's not just the firearms market. Of course, Wholesale Hunter, I mean, it's wholesale everything you can think of with outdoors.
Yeah, we do camping, fishing gear, of course, hunting, firearms, a little bit of everything. We do reloading supplies, so if you're looking for reloading components, we have them, primers, powder, reloading bullets, presses.
Now, a lot more people are turning to that. Is it? Are you noticing that?
Yeah, if you want a good quality product and you don't want everyone knowing what you have, you can reload it, and it's pretty easy to do. It's not hard. It's not too complicated as long as you have a good manual and you
well, it's always got that stigma of being so dangerous because you're dealing with powder and the explosions and all that. But in my life, I've known one person that had an issue, and he was an idiot. There was no doubt about it. We waited for this many, many years before it finally happened. But that's it. But I always hear the horror stories, and I've experienced with one guy.
Oh yeah, I've reloaded tens of thousands of rounds and never had an issue.
Never issue one.
Never.
Okay. Now, do you have any, like, if a complete novice walked in?
So Joey shows up.
Yeah, if I show up. And I'm like, I want to get serious and begin. I might actually be in the ammunition market, moving in, want to get proficient with a particular firearm in the house, so I might be coming by. But if I wanted to kind of start from scratch, like as a beginner, y'all would be able to help me.
Absolutely, yeah. We'd get you in, see what you were looking for, see what you were comfortable with, let you handle a few of the firearms, give you some explanations on how things work, what to look out for. And then once we get a firearm fitted for you, then we'll walk you down the aisle of ammunition and the different types of ammunition you may need or want to use.
So if I was looking for home defense, but if I wanted to do concealed carry, what would be kind of a good option there?
I personally like the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield for concealed carry. The Smith & Wesson M&P full size is a good tabletop gun. I like. Some people like Glocks, SIGs. Every company has its own fandom.
Okay.
Again, it goes down to what feels comfortable to you. That's what matters the most.
So it does get to subjective preference. I'm sure certain makers have like certain advantages, right?
Yeah, if certain hand sizes, it makes it different for the grips for the different guns.
Like, Joe, you'd be for like a ladies 32.
Yeah, we make the really small ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm being very honest. You have smaller hands.
I don't know.
Grip so much better.
Joey might need the Desert Eagle.
Oh my God. He couldn't get both his hands around it.
But
it would be a great video.
It's like, Joey, how'd you get that mark on your forehead? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Lady Smith, it fits right in your hand. It fit right in your European handbag. You'd be good to go.
My European
We sell purses with concealed compartments.
They'll never see it coming, especially in this day and age. It's like, you're such a beautiful woman. Were you born a girl? You always got to watch out.
Exactly.
No, but it's a great local shop you have here, but y'all are serving, like, I mean, around the nation, right?
Oh, yeah. We ship to every state, including Hawaii and Alaska. We ship firearms to every state. We follow every law in the states. So some states like California, it's a little more difficult to get firearms in, but we do ship them there. Ammo's the same way. Some states require ammo be shipped to a licensed ammo dealer, so we have to ship it there, but we will still ship it to that state for those customers.
Do you know some of those states where you have to sit like a licensed ammo dealer? It's funny hearing that now because 10 years ago, never even heard that term.
California and New York are the two biggest ones. In California, I know you cannot buy ammo unless you have a registered gun in that caliber on the state registry.
So crazy.
And then they limit you by how many rounds you can buy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. God bless Alabama.
Yeah, yeah, it is one of the best states in the country.
Well, am I missing anything here before I let you go?
No, I just encourage people to go to wholesalehunter.com, search around, sign up for our newsletter, and just be on the lookout for the specials we have running. You never know when we might pop a special discount out there or coupon for you, and feel free to contact us, email us, or call us if you have any questions at all. We'll be more than happy to answer it. And stop in our shop in Wetumpka. We're at the corner of Fire Tower and 14.
Well, there you go. Well, good seeing you, Jason.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. You have a great day.
You too, man. Appreciate it.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
And we'll be right back. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Primal Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
The fall sale is on, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your floors. During Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, find deep discounts on Mohawk flooring for every room in your home, plus interest-free financing with approved credit. Get new floors before the holidays with huge discounts. Visit PrattvilleCarpet.com or call 285-8117 today.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Put the power of Action 8 News in the palm of your hand. Download the free Action 8 News app to stay on top of breaking news wherever you are. Search for WAKA News in your app store to download the Action 8 News app today. Keep your family safe by watching Action 8 News. Look for 8 on your side consumer alerts with product recalls involving cars, food, children's toys, and other items in your home. 8 on your side, keeping you safe only on Action 8 News.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
Hello.
272-9228. Great seeing Jason Marsh.
It was, man.
From Wholesale Hunter.
And it was great talking to him. Educated us a little bit on some bills that are going through. I did not know about the whole ammunition. You have to, in some states, you have to have a registered card to buy ammo. I don't understand that. Where are we going, folks?
Yeah, like, I thought we fought a revolution over things like stamp taxes.
And that was something else. In Tennessee.
Well, honestly, we didn't fight crap.
Somebody did, but
it's kind of like people saying, "Oh, we helped you French out." It's like, "Oh yeah, you in the middle of you're the one in the trenches helping the French." Sure.
Yes. I gave them all the white hankies.
Mm-hmm. But you were going to say something?
Oh, Jason, yeah, he told us about in Tennessee the ammo tax.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that was every bit of ammo you buy in Tennessee's got a sticker on it, and that's ammo tax.
Very real thing.
Yes, that goes back to me like cigarette tax, and those little stamps on packs of cigarettes. What are we doing, taxing ammo in Tennessee?
Right. You would think the South could be the South at least.
I thought so.
Though on the terms of the Second Amendment and gun rights, the right is winning. We often complain about how the right-wing movements and conservatives have failed, and they do often. But on the Second Amendment, they are winning that argument in terms of rights. Now, I am a human being, and these mass shootings that keep happening, part of where my mind goes is if you got a soft target, especially things like a school, why not have security? Actual robust security.
Right. I don't. With all the money that goes into, don't get me off on the rant, but all the money that goes to schools, you can't tell me we can't afford an officer.
Right.
But I saw a deal last night. You were talking about the soft targets. It's kind of sad, but it's ironic. Mm-hmm. The guy goes to rob a Dollar General store. Guess what? He got shot by the clerk. Well, they were upset. His family's upset because the whole reason he robbed the Dollar General, it was a gun-free zone. So therefore, they were in the wrong for having a clerk back there that brought his own tool to work.
See, I believe in property rights. So if you want to have a gun-free zone on your property, okay. But to enforce that, you might want some security, including a gun.
Right.
And that's what's so it's frustrating, I think. And also a lot of this is just cultural rot.
Definitely.
Like we, for way too long, have, I think, you used to go to, people had, firearms going to school all the time, right? It's just a different culture.
When I was in high school, I took rifling. That was a class. You could actually letter in it.
And Chris is just texting me saying, and most of the shooters are known to the feds or local police. That's exactly right.
I was going to say, how many of the last, say, 5 have, the statement has come out, they were known to local police?
Yeah. And they often are, sorry, Duke, have mental illness issues. Oh, it's only with the white guys. No, how about the Navy Yard shooter?
Yeah.
Like, no, there are people who just go crazy. And, it doesn't get them off scot-free. Like, I think you should be put under the jail if you do something like that.
Yes.
But, yeah, come on. Come on. We got to, I don't know.
Another story last night, there was 3, I think they were all under 18, 3 youths lured another youth into like a parking lot and they beat him to death. Well, they let one of them out of jail last night.
What?
Let him out. California, let him out. Not on bond. Not just let him out. Come back to trial when we have the trial in about 1.5 years, okay?
What a shame. Right. Now, as promised, I want to shift gears here to my op-ed this week for 1819 News. They've gotten so popular there at 1819 News. They have that trending section. Yeah. My goal every week is to, do something that's true to me.
Yeah.
But try to hit that trending section. And I've not done it in a few weeks. And last time I did it was the Mike Rogers. Dude looks like Alabama's Liz Cheney.
That was a good one, though.
That was trending. That was trending. That was good. I was disappointed last week's didn't trend.
Though, I can't believe it, Joey.
So I was proud of that one.
I sent that out probably to 90% of the people in my contacts, and every one of them got back to me and told me how much they love that story.
Well, no, and that anytime I write about family, and you write about what you know.
Right.
But this week, I kind of went back to the drawing board, rehashing an idea I had a while ago, but expanding on it. And it starts with a quote by Murray N. Rothbard. Hey, if you're out there listening and you feel politically homeless, or you are a conservative that kind of feels like the conservative movement has let you down, heck, maybe you're more of a liberal in your mindset, but you're not happy with the Democratic Party. You think there's a lot of heavy-handedness going on, in particular violations of things like free speech and whatnot. But you just don't feel like you fit in any of the traditional parties. The idea that your choice is essentially you got to be Rush Limbaugh or you got to be Hillary Clinton is nonsense. There is a different way. If you're interested in the philosophy of liberty, of libertarianism, you might as well listen to Mr. Libertarian. His name is Murray N. Rothbard, and the essay that I and many other libertarians, especially Austro-libertarian, recommend is Murray Rothbard's The Anatomy of the State. And this is from the opening of that, quote, With the rise of democracy, the identification of the state with society has been redoubled, until it is common to hear sentiments expressed which violate virtually every tenet of reason and common sense, such as, we are the government. The useful collective term, we, has enabled an ideological camouflage to be thrown over the reality of political life. Again, that's Murray and Rothbard, The Anatomy of the State. But imagine, folks, imagine that you believe human beings are incapable of wielding their individual freedoms responsibly. Absent the fear of force of a governing elite, at least. Freedom in the average man's hands, you believe, is a danger to himself and others. Yet despite the perfectly obvious dangers and costs of liberty, the people are irrationally in love with their freedoms and immune to your governance. How would you strategize for governing a people who take immense pride in their liberty? Attempting brute force might seem a straightforward option, but it's fraught with pitfalls. Once liberty is enshrined, people fiercely defend it, even to the death. Any overt acts of suppression would be met with spontaneous, powerful resistance, a feat comparable to trying to halt a relentless river with your bare hands. Every oppressive act would only serve to breed martyrs and enemies, united in their goal to dismantle your naked tyranny. But suppose you take a less conspicuous route. What if you could charm freedom-loving people into believing that sacrificing their individual liberties actually preserves their political freedoms? How would you do this? Well, in a phrase, our democracy. This would first involve convincing the people that liberty is not the bedrock of a just society, but simply another commodity to trade for security, wealth, health, or national pride and glory. By the way, breaking away from the piece here, there's a Irish senator, like in the Irish Parliament, came out and said, well, of course we're violating your liberty. I can't do an Irish accent. I can't do it at all. Yeah. Shillelagh. But of course we're restricting your liberties. That's what law is. And so we're going to restrict your liberties for the common good. So what I'm saying here in this op-ed ain't rocket science. It's just stuff that people often go, well, we've already settled that. Of course you got to be for the common good. I get to restrict your liberties, right? So this would first involve convincing the people that liberty is not the bedrock of a just society, but simply another commodity to trade for security, wealth, health, or national pride and glory. Ever so often, you would need to encourage the people, but do it slowly, do it subtly, encourage the people to view their freedoms as shares to be bought and sold in the national corporate body, rather than individual inalienable rights endowed by God. You could then charm the masses into thinking their participation in the democratic process, their vote is more crucial than their individual liberties of thought, worship, speech, property, and self-defense. You could addict the voters to government through the habit-forming opiate of their ballot, watching the people slowly develop a fear of their own liberty and a jaundiced jealousy of anyone else's. Then, for the coup de grace, you could subtly replace God with our democracy, casting the will of the people as the ultimate creator and guardian of rights, until eventually the people begin to believe their power is the only way to liberate themselves from all the risk of their individual liberties. Of course, at this point, the people's power will merely be your power, the will of the people baked like clay, molded by your elite hands. Want to see this plan in action? Well, just look at the history of the United States of America, where the federal government has swelled to distended proportions, ostensibly in the service of the people's will. Under the guise of freedom and democracy, the U.S. government continues to rob the populace blind, expanding its power and scope at the citizenry's expense and ignorant, or let's say naive, to be nice, consent. This bloated state of affairs is no accident, but a century-long project furnished by the Anglo-American elite. They seem to believe, truly, that most of the human race is incapable of wielding their individual freedom responsibly. Now, the elites say that the only path forward to a prosperous future is through a centralized global plan, one where Americans are expected to bear the upfront costs while the short-term benefits are reaped by a select few, who always promise long-term gains that never seem to be realized. From combating climate change to managing pandemics to fighting the next war, the people are constantly told that sacrifices are necessary to tackle the latest crisis for the greater good. Indeed, H.O. Mencken had it right when he said, quote, "The whole aim of practical politics is to keep the populace alarmed and hence clamorous to be led to safety by an endless series of hobgoblins, most of them imaginary." Sadly, most of the American people, for now, it is changing, seem to believe this long con. But no matter its promises, charms, or supposed generosity, no matter its calls for selfless service in the common good, the government is a selfish giant with an insatiable appetite for more and more. This Leviathan will break your leg and then hand you a crutch, all while claiming you were never capable of walking on your own in the first place. This Goliath will steal from you and then expect gratitude for any scraps it may return you. This Colossus will most insidiously redefine community, cooperation, nation, history, and even family, aligning them all with its own prerogatives, and detach people from those local and informal bonds that may have otherwise maintained freedom and independence. All this has happened and will continue as long as the people believe that the government is us. We are the government. The good news is things are changing. And more and more folks saying, I ain't the government, or they don't seem to represent me. I mean, that's one of the first things we agreed on, right, Eddie? That you feel like that you've been, what's the word you use? Like you were scammed or duped?
I was duped. Yeah. And the day that I realized I had been duped, well, I won't say the day, it was probably a week process for me to go, you know what? What you've been taught most of your life from the government, Department of Defense schools, the whole 9 yards I had to go to, was a lie. You should have love for your country, no doubt. But your leaders shouldn't have to lie to you to get you to feel that way.
Well said. And I know Eddie's not alone in that feeling. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And, of course, Pest Pro can help you with all those pest control problems you need solved. Definitely. You might as well make them your everyday pest control company. They'll get you on, won't be literally every day, but on a quarterly schedule.
Right.
And you'll get to know them that way, where if there is an emergency, something weird happens, they've got your back. But when you get on that regular schedule with Pest Pro, you're going to be jam up and jelly tight, as the song says.
Oh, for sure.
But, of course, they always are giving back to the community. They've built up a great, what could we call it, work family.
Oh, no doubt, Joe.
They're at Pest Pro Services.
Several members of the family we know.
Oh, yeah, we know a few of them.
Yeah.
How's it shaking, Jack? But at Pest Pro, you can always call them at 265-9990, 265-9990, or go to ppsriverregion.com, see what they have to offer online, or go to the Book of Faces.
Go to the Facebook page. That's my big suggestion.
And just search Pest Pro Services on Facebook.
Right. You look them up, and right now, if you go to their page, you'll see where they are teaming up with the Millbrook Police Department for Operation Blue Santa for the third consecutive year. If you bring any unwrapped toy to Pest Pro, they will make sure they get delivered to the Blue Santa. And see, again, that's another thing they do community-wise. They don't have to do this. Not every business does. Small businesses like her that are deep-rooted in the community, they do this all day long.
So, folks, when you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell those fine folks there that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. 272-9228. But coming up, we've got a few clips here, Eddie.
All right.
And there's plenty to pick from.
I bet.
In particular, we mentioned it with Judge Napolitano, Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona just said with a completely straight face, I think it was President Reagan who said, we're from the government. we're here to help. So we could get to that. We also have some old footage being kicked around. I think it was actually Candid Camera in 1965.
That's such a good show.
And what this was footage captured in 65, showing it was a social experiment, how girls react to a young, handsome teacher.
Oh.
Apparently their reactions are priceless. And then there's another one of the boys with a hot female teacher in 1965.
It's hard to imagine a hot female teacher.
We also got Mitt Romney being a miserable establishment shill, and
That's what
Joe
he does.
Scarborough saying Joe Biden is preventing World War III because of his experience. More and news and views in the afternoon after this.
Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Actor portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
May I help you?
Well, howdy. I'm Bill the electrician. Come to wire up your new air compressors.
Oh, well, okay. Never seen an electrician pull up in a camo Jeep with deer antlers on the front.
Yeah, that 3 points of beauty, ain't it?
No matter what your electrician is driving, make sure it says Crosby Electric on the side. Crosby Electricians will take care of your electrical issues professionally and for a reasonable price.
Bill, you sure you know how to design these circuits?
Well, of course. And if I do get stuck, I got a secret weapon.
Oh, yeah?
YouTube.
Oh, boy.
Crosby Electric has been serving this area for over 50 years. We have the experience to do your job correctly.
Okay, let's try out these new air compressors.
Bill, you blew up my new compressors.
Yeah, sorry about that. Here, take my Jeep. It's yours.
What?
I'll just keep the horns, if that's okay.
Protect your property and yourself. Always call the experts at Crosby Electric or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, you got a big event coming up.
The most major event of the year, Christmas Open House at Eastbrook. And it will be December 2nd it's a Saturday, from 9 until 6. We'll have probably a few little snacks around. I know there'll be popcorn and probably cider and lemonade and probably some gift certificates. And all of the vendors have been asked to do at least 20% discount. Some will do more. That is a really good day to stock up on good mahogany furniture or Christmas things or gifts right now. Eastbrook is about 60,000 square feet. We are a high-end flea market, if you want to call it that. An elevator with 3 floors. Come join us.
All right, remind us one more time of the day and time of your Christmas open house.
December 2nd from 9 until 6. It's a Saturday.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 429 Coliseum Boulevard.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by JB Windows and Siding. Call Jones Brothers. You'll be glad you did.
JB Windows and Siding has what you're looking for. Rich Thomas Weather.
Below normal temperatures will continue at least through Thursday, but at least we're storm-free until late week. Today, more sunshine, quite cool but not cold, high 57. Tonight will be the coldest night of the week with a low temperature in the upper 20s by dawn, clear skies. Wednesday's high 59, more sun, low 60s Thursday, still dry during the day. Then showers and thunderstorms become likely by late Thursday night into Friday. That's round one. Second round of rain returns on Saturday and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. For work at your hunting camp or a job site, you need a utility vehicle you can depend on. The Kubota Sidekick from Capital Tractor, power to haul and top speeds of 40 miles per hour. Kubota and Capital Tractor in Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house with me.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. And Eric the dog said, like you said, Joey, about the grandsons wearing the grandfather's bearskin. I think I used the term wolf pelt, but bearskin works too. Yeah. Killing a bear is pretty impressive, so is killing a wolf.
You ever killed a bear with your bare hands?
No, I have
makes
not.
Two of us.
But yeah, that's part of what's going on here.
Yeah.
There are a lot of these institutions and positions of power people inherited. And they didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but you ain't the ones who built these things.
Right.
And you act like you're just as confident as the people who did build them.
It reminds
I don't know
me
about
of,
that.
It reminds me of errors of big companies where they, say Anheuser-Busch, the guy that started that company, he didn't intend it for it to be ran the way it is ran today.
Oh, certainly not.
Right.
No.
Right. But he kept it in the family.
Yeah, can you imagine the original founder of Anheuser-Busch had to see, like, this is my third day of being a girl?
Right.
And, oh, yeah, I think there's some grandfathers that are ready to come back as zombies and strangle some kids.
No doubt. By the way, they haven't admitted to it publicly, but just about all those executives that were involved in that don't work for Bud Light anymore.
Yeah, but they're going to get hired.
Oh, they're going
by somebody else.
Right.
That's the problem. Nobody learns their lesson.
I won't even say they're going to get hired, Joe. I think they already have been placed. We're just waiting for them to give you the paperwork. We've got a job for you here. Yeah.
I think you drive a good point. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings.
They're good folks, dude.
Really great folks. Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings can help you with all sorts of jewelry needs, from jewelry repair,
right,
to like spa treatments, like cleanings. Maybe you need to reset a stone.
True.
Maybe you need to just kind of update something. Or you can even combine two pieces of jewelry.
That's a good idea.
Or maybe you just dreamed it. Like you dreamed about a funky, fresh medallion.
Yep.
And you're like, how am I going to go see Josh Ryder? If you can dream it, Josh can make it a reality.
So true.
But here's the great news, folks. The sales are continuing there at Dillon Rings. They've been extended. Awesome prices until December 23rd. With only 22 shopping days left until Christmas, no one needs to miss out on some of these great deals. In particular, folks, I'm looking at Facebook. Look at this thing, Eddie. This is absolutely remarkable.
Oh, wow.
That is amazing. And if you scroll up, it has a description there. For Cyber Monday, they were doing that.
All right, I'm going to call it Transonite. Hashtag pink diamonds. Originally $5,000, now only $3,500. That's a beautiful, beautiful ring. And you see, besides the big blue stone, you've got the stones next to it.
Right.
That's gorgeous.
That is truly remarkable. And again, originally $5,000, now $3,500. It's a heck of a sale. It is a rose gold estate ring adorned with tanzanite and pink diamonds. Beautiful. And that's just one of the many things they have there to offer at Dillon Rings. So go to their Facebook page. Go to their Instagram, but actually the best way to work with them is stop by 119 Brown Springs Road.
There you go, Joey.
They have an amazing selection. And again, these sales running through December the 23rd. So if you're looking to do some Christmas shopping, especially if you want to make it a very special,
definitely
sparkling Christmas, go see Dillon Rings. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. Now, let's go to, because we keep talking about like 2024 is going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, it is going to happen, and we're not sure where it's going. But here is a little bit of a preview. The games have, well, begun.
This election could not be higher. Next November, you have a choice between war, poverty, and weakness under crooked Joe Biden, or peace, prosperity, and strength under President Donald J. Trump. Just 3 years ago, our economy was booming, the world was safe, and America was strong. Annual incomes went up by more than $6,000 under the Trump administration, and they went down by about $6,000 under the horrible Biden administration, the worst in the history of our country. The 30-year mortgage rate reached a record low of 2.65%. We had no inflation, and we had gasoline down to $1.87 per gallon. I was also the first president in decades who didn't start a war, and I brought our troops back home. We defeated ISIS, and that was it. Everybody came back home where they should be. Under crooked Joe Biden, the economy is in a shambles, and the world is going up in flames. Real incomes have gone down by $7,400 per family under crooked Joe. Gas prices are $4, $5, $6, and $7 a gallon. Cumulative inflation is nearly 20%, and mortgage rates are pushing a brutal 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%, and you can't get the money. We have war in Europe, we have wars in the Middle East, and we are stumbling into World War III. That's what's going to happen with this leadership because they don't know what they're doing. The contrast could not be more stark. The road back to peace, stability, prosperity, and security for your family begins with a landslide Trump victory in 1 year from now. We will make America great again, greater than ever before. Thank you.
Again, that's Donald John Trump. 45th President of the United States. Will he be the 47th?
I think he will. But question, Joey, and you are the right guy to answer this. Trump wins the election. It's December 3rd now, okay? What's going to happen between then and when he takes office? Those weeks concern me the most.
Why those weeks?
Because at that point, Democrats know the jig is up. So there'll be a lot of burying. There'll also be a lot of things getting passed or bills being forced in just because they know their term, their leadership of government is coming to an abrupt halt in a few weeks from that day.
So it's almost like a repeat of what happened after 2020, but on steroids because you actually have the power centers pushing for something unusual?
Steroid parts, yes. I agree 100% because I think to me, this is their worst fear. Another Republican's going to come in for one, but for two, it's Donald Trump, somebody they've done all they can do to ruin. And they've taken the American people that used to tolerate Trump, liked him for the most part, but they got tired of him. But they've turned that back into he's a hero again. So they know that when he comes in, he's going to come in looking for, I don't know how to say it nicely, but he's going to come in with some vengeance. So I think they're going to do all they can do to protect everything they've done thus far and then multiply that times 10 to make it that much harder to undo what they've done.
Well, like I said the other day, they rubbed the bucks and the genie came out.
Yep.
I'm the genie and I'm granting wishes, but not for the Democrats. Not wishes they want, folks. I would never do that. Only for the forgotten men and women of this country.
So Trump is, I think you're right in that analysis.
I worry about that because then that's going to tie it. Instead of us coming out first of the year, we're looking forward to a new president. We're looking forward to sales and things turning around. For the first several months, it's going to be wading through the BS of trying to just get things back on the right track.
Now, as just a quick take from the other side, you heard Trump say that, we're going to stop World War III with our approach because we're stumbling into it with the current leadership. Well, now here's the talking heads on Morning Joe. It's like Hollywood star, like Hollywood Squares, it looks like. Look at the screen there, Eddie. It's kind of like, look at that setup. How many folks do you need to do a morning show? Heck, gum.
How many of those people would you take actual advice from, Joey?
Here, we'll pull it up on the live stream. Again, Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
If any of those individuals, and you know who they are, they came to you and said, Joey, I got a piece of advice for you.
Now, if Kathy K wanted me to rub her feet, I would.
Yeah, you are that way.
No, seriously. Like this lady up here in the
Yeah,
in the
what
top?
about I thought it would be the one on the boat.
She's some like British bird of a certain age, and
That's why I thought the one on the bottom would be more your.
Claire McCaskill. No, what is wrong with you?
We know you like the older women. What about the guy on the left on the bottom? Take some financial advice from him.
Actually,
you need to. You need a tax shelter.
If all those folks up here on this screen, I would definitely love a long conversation with Al Sharpton. I would not pass that up. It wouldn't be even a mean one. I just want to get to know the guy.
I would love to have dinner with Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
Just literally be able to have that open conversation where he knew I wasn't going to run and tell everything, but I'd love to hear some good.
So what they're reacting to, if you read the Chiron on the MSNBC screen, folks, is Trump on Thanksgiving.
Our country has gone to hell.
So let's listen to the Morning Joe crew so we can just know what the other side is saying, so to speak, about Trump.
But Claire, I'm so glad you talked about marketing, because the crisis we're going through right now, where the world could really spiral into World War III, but it's not, because a guy who's actually had 50 years of experience, it shows the contrast.
Whoa, is he talking about Joe Biden?
Wait a minute. The guy that's getting us into World War III? That's the guy he's talking
we're not
about?
in World War III because of Joe Biden's 50 years of foreign policy experience.
I don't think that's an accurate statement.
These people that's just a miserable lie right there.
Well, ask him if he's found any dead people in his office lately.
Yeah, and it's like, also, Joe, you ever think Biden's running the show? Give me a break, but let's let him finish.
Between a guy obsessed with marketing his brand, a guy obsessed with gestures, a guy who governed by gesture, versus, Joe Biden, who has 50 years of experience. And when a deal goes sideways on the hostages, he can pick up the phone, he can call, he can get it done. When he meets with President Xi in a critical meeting, he can actually, they have experience. They've got over a decade of experience working with each other when both of them were number 2 in their countries. Experience matters, and the contrast, and it makes me so angry when people are talking about, Joe Biden, he's out of it, he's this. No, he's not. On Joe Biden's worst day, he's light years ahead of Donald Trump on policy, on politics, on diplomacy.
Are you going to say it?
You say it.
Liar. Liar, pants on fire.
That's literally unhinged.
Dude.
Like, I guess if you get paid millions of dollars and you got your co-host, stooping you at night, you'll say whatever you need to say.
I guess, but I got to sleep at night, and they don't make enough NyQuil to get me through that.
That's amazing. That's what people watch in the morning. Now, I'm not saying Fox and Friends is better. Brian, kill me.
But it's better than that, I can tell you that, Joey.
Yeah. I'd rather I'd listen to Brian Kilmeade read Shakespeare's Hamlet before I listen to this crap some more.
Awful.
Wow, that is. Well, I guess this is where we're going, folks.
No, this is where they want us to go. We're going the opposite direction.
Oh no, this is how the back and forth with the official team spokespersons, so to speak.
Spokespersons.
Yeah, I have to be politically correct.
Good idea.
Yeah, this is where it's going. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by, Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline can help you.
Oh, yes.
Madeline Cannon. They can both, Kim and Madeline, help you with buying a home.
Yep.
And if you're looking for the best possible deal, which you need with mortgage rates being what they are these days, Alabama Home Mortgage can do that for you.
Definitely.
And if you're a first-time home buyer, they can walk you through that home buying process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. If you're a veteran and you haven't taken advantage of the VA home loan programs that you earned through your service, it's a benefit you earned. Alabama Home Mortgage is VA home loan certified. They can help you with buying a home through the VA or refinances. They're all the rage these days.
Yep. Plus, you get to skip a payment.
Yeah, you get to skip a payment. It's a great idea whether you're a veteran or not.
Right.
Do it around the Christmas time. You get to skip that, January payment?
Yep.
And, it allows you to stretch your dollar
Not a bad idea.
Especially if you're sitting under mountains of credit card debt. If you got equity built up in your home, don't live that way.
Don't.
Go make a great refinance deal with Alabama Home Mortgage. So their number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. You can also visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference and mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Yes. Let's go to James on line 1. Hey, James, how you doing?
James?
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well.
Oh, nicely done.
So, are you guys having a nice evening? Afternoon?
Yeah, so
hanging
far.
in here like a hair in a biscuit.
Oh, well, excellent. Joey, there's a reason I stopped watching television in 2008. Okay?
Right.
So I'm dried out over, 15 years? If I had a television plugged in watching that last nonsense that you just aired, I would have had to thrown it out in the yard.
Yeah.
Right, it's pretty bad.
It is bad.
The major concern, as Eddie alluded to earlier, if for some reason they managed to steal the election a second time,
yeah,
as we are caught, I don't know, looking the other way, whatever we were caught, the issue, there will be 3 issues, all right, in this order. The executive order, and you want to guess the third one?
Executive order?
You got it.
Yep.
I'm short of the Lord coming back, I'm not sure there is a solution to what we have presently. Some people think it's Donald Trump. But what's to keep him from being elected and it taken from him a second time?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I think whether Trump does win it, and it's clear that he won it, and he gets put in the White House again, or whether it's taken from him, or somebody else wins, I think we're in for a rough ride, no matter who so-called wins.
I agree.
Correct.
And you're a wise man. I didn't know you stopped all the way. I didn't graduate high school to 07, so you stopped watching TV all the way back in 08?
Yes. Now,
Smart.
I've watched some TV, but watched it on a regular basis, like where you're sitting on your couch after you come home from work, and you get it home, and you're okay, such and such comes on at 7, and at 7:30 that's, and then at 8 o'clock, and then at 9 there's this, I got to, and then Tuesday night, I still remember how that felt.
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
When you're coming home and that anticipation of you're going to see Friends
Friends
and
is coming on.
Seinfeld,
Yep.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Came, but no, I have not watched television on a regular basis since they went digital. I would not buy the Chinese-made box to go with the televisions that, and they were sending you these coupons to get one. I think they were like $40. Wouldn't do it. Still won't do it. Won't have a television because they're made in China. Most of them are. If they're not, back them days you could find one that one of those little small ones with the VHS still stuck on the bottom,
right?
Or the CD player. or the DVD player, or what have you. But you can't even find a light bulb that's not made in China now.
That's
you know
right.
why I know this?
Tried to buy one lately?
I tried to buy one lately, and I did not realize that the so-called ban on the incandescent light bulbs was put in force in August of this 2023. And man told me we went around and we pulled a bunch of them off the shelf. Of course, I doubt very seriously that any of those were made in the United States. The last factory, to my knowledge, as I recall looking this up last week, the last factory that was in the U.S. that made incandescent light bulbs was closed in 2015, I think it was. It's either 2015 or 2017, so...
Yeah, the purposeful hollowing out of this country.
Yeah, exactly
they
what it
keep
was.
acting like it came out of the clear blue sky. No, you've been in charge for, say, 3 decades. You've been doing this, and you know exactly what you've been doing.
About
Well,
NAFTA.
Joe's, up there from, New Hampshire for the last 50 years. And this is...
It's actually the nutmeg state, Connecticut.
Yes, Connecticut.
He's from Connecticut.
Or wait, no, Delaware.
It is
It's
'cause
Delaware.
that's
It's a
where his
credit
house
card
is at. Yeah,
company.
yeah.
Okay, my bad. I know it was one of those up along the within the 13 colonies. Of course, that could have been Georgia. You guys have a nice day, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, just in case, and as they say in Old England, ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Great call. More news and views in the afternoon. Final hour coming up after the top of the hour break.
Joey Clark.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The Israeli army says that 10 Israelis and 2 foreigners held hostage in Gaza have been released, arriving in Egypt on the 5th day of a temporary ceasefire. The hostages will be flown to hospitals in Israel where they will all be reunited with their families. A key Federal Reserve official says he's increasingly confident the Fed's interest rate policies will succeed in bringing inflation back to the central bank's 2% target level. The official, Christopher Waller, cautioned that inflation is still too high, but signaled that the central bank is likely done raising rates. India's transportation minister says all 41 construction workers who were trapped in a collapsed mountain tunnel in the country's north have now been pulled out. On Wall Street, the Dow had 63 points, but the Nasdaq is 1 point in the red. This is SRN News.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Season's greetings from the Johnny Adams Law Firm, who wants you and your family to stay weather alert this holiday season.
Rich Thomas weather.
Below normal temperatures will continue at least through Thursday, but at least we're storm-free until late week. Today, more sunshine, quite cool but not cold, high 57. Tonight will be the coldest night of the week with a low temperature in the upper 20s by dawn, clear skies. Wednesday's high 59, more sun, low 60s Thursday, still dry during the day. Then showers and thunderstorms become likely by late Thursday night into Friday. That's round one. Second round of rain returns on Saturday and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors & More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors & More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News.
The 2023 Christmas tree for the state of Alabama has arrived in the capital city of Montgomery. The eastern red cedar is 40 feet tall and will be decorated in the days ahead. Governor Ivey will take part in the lighting ceremony of that tree, which will be held on December 1st. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Brian Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
A federal judge has given probation to a Theodore man for making pipe bombs at his home. The 5-year probation is for 78-year-old Charles Zito. after bomb components were found at his house. Zito admitted to investigators that he was intending to blow up the vehicle belonging to a man who had run off with Zito's wife. U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Beaverstock also ordered that Zito undergo mental health treatment. Zito has served a prior conviction of attempted murder in Florida back in 1990. That was for sending a hand grenade to someone in the mail. Another lawsuit is in the works in Mobile for the family of Jawan Dallas against the Mobile Police Department. Last week before Thanksgiving, the Dallas family was able to view the police body camera footage of the arrest and tasing of Dallas that occurred this past August. Dallas then died a few hours later. Civil rights attorneys for the Dallas family say that the body camera footage shows Mobile police officers assaulting Dallas while he pleaded for his life. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
There are two types of drivers in the world, people who own a vehicle or boat and people who love them. If you love your vehicle and boat, treat it like you do by contacting the Works Auto Detail. Kyle will come to you, leaving your vehicle and boat looking better than ever. With 20 years of detailing experience, the Works Auto Detail offers mobile detailing, paint correction, and ceramic coating services. Ask about the 10% discount for all military, first responders, and teachers. Check out the Works Auto Detail with an X online at theworksautodetail.com, on Facebook and Instagram.
It's that time of the year again, Alabama. That's right, it's Medicare annual enrollment period. This year, why not let United Healthcare guide you through the process to select a Medicare Advantage plan? Whether you choose our easy-to-use online tools or speak with our Medicare plan experts by phone, we can help you find the right United Healthcare plan for your needs and budget. With United Healthcare, you'll feel confident that you're choosing a plan that's right for you. This is Medicare made for Alabama. Trusted everywhere. Let us help guide you through our wide range of plans. Call United Healthcare at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. 1-855-MEET-UHC. Or go to uhc.com to see your plan options. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so contact United Healthcare today and find your Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Plan Expert is a licensed insurance sales agent or producer.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, if you're watching the live stream, folks, you can see the meme we have pulled up here.
Yeah.
Young Chiefs fan apologizes for appropriating Elizabeth Warren and wearing Trudeau face.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a headdress on, and his face is painted one half black, one half red.
Kind of matches the uniform, doesn't it?
And the reason this became a news story is because a journalist, apparently an award-winning journalist at Deadspin.
Okay.
They're kind of the arch nemesis of Barstool.
Right.
Right. It was written by this journalist, Karen J. Not Karen, like K-A-R-E-N.
Oh, don't tell me, Joey.
It's like, almost like carry-on. Like a dead, festering...
Bet you that's not on our birth certificate.
Karen J. Phillips is his name.
I see.
And he says, for the idiots in my mentions who are treating this as some harmless act, what is he talking about? Some harmless act. What is he getting at here? Well, the initial Deadspin article on this.
Show the initial photo if you can find it. Yeah.
Like, the initial Deadspin article is just remarkable.
Let's get somebody triggered.
So I'm going to share this on the live stream, folks. Joey Clark live on YouTube. That's Joey Clark live on YouTube because the visual component of this is key. It's crucial.
Definitely, because this is what I saw.
This is what Deadspin put out. Yeah, I'll describe it if you're just listening. The NFL needs to speak out against the Kansas City Chiefs fan in blackface and native headdress. They're doubling up on the racism. Are you going to say anything, Roger Goodell? And it had a side profile photo of the kid.
Of the kid, too. Make sure you put that in there.
It's a kid. They say Kansas City Chiefs fan. This kid looks, 10, 12?
Maybe 12 on a good day.
Right. And it's a side profile of him where it's like, yeah, his face is painted black and he's wearing a headdress.
Yep.
He's a Kansas City Chiefs
fan.
Well, talk about incredibly disingenuous, because if you find people have put out other photos of the kid, this was incredibly disingenuous, to put it mildly.
Fake news.
And so Community Notes, which is getting better and better by the day on Twitter,
Notice that?
said the Deadspin's author failed to provide full context of the photo presented in the article, which is a boy wearing face paint, of which the two colors, black and red, represent the Kansas City Chiefs NFL team.
And have been for years, and probably, I bet there's 50 people in the audience with that same face
This is what this kid actually looked like, now putting it up on the live stream.
Nah.
Like he just looked like a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Does.
He's a kid.
Sure does.
Well, the guy who wrote that article up initially is shamelessly just defending himself. He says, for the idiots in my mentions who are treating this as some harmless act because the other side of his face was painted red, I could make the argument that it makes it even worse. Y'all are the ones who hate Mexicans but wear sombreros on Cinco.
I couldn't tell you last time I wore a sombrero, and I don't hate
Yeah.
Mexicans either. And I don't wear them because if you go to the restaurant and it's your birthday and they try to put one on your head, that's how you get lice.
Yeah, that's just...
It's disingenuous to say the least. But, forgive me, but I don't remember exactly who quoted it yesterday. But one of the things we covered, one of the persons said that this is a narrative and they'll never apologize when they're wrong because this is their narrative that they try and push. So I'm glad that people push back. I'm thrilled that, because that's what has to happen.
Well, I think because it's a kid, there's going to be a pretty massive lawsuit. So
But but guaranteed this guy, whoever this Karen guy is hiding or will be hiding until he can gather some of his supporters around him and say, oh, you can't come after him. Now you're being racist because you're coming after him.
It's just like this grown-ass man is doubling down.
Oh, you got a name like Karen, and he's a dude, so
yeah,
we're going to start with some issues there.
Yeah, one of the big Twitter personalities, shoe on head, one of the few leftists I like, though. She's not really a leftist, she's an alt-right queen. And like, who cares? Oh, stupid internet culture.
Up there with cat turd.
The shoe is great. I love her. She's freaking hilarious. No, she just did, she'll just do absurd videos where she might get some medical grade and then be smash or pass on Pokemon. She does ridiculous stuff. She's funny. She's very funny.
Well, that's what it should be. It should be entertaining.
But I've got it pulled up, and it just makes it plain as day how they manipulated this.
Yep.
So, just another day in the way the press works. And there's a lot of folks in the press where, I can't remember the lady's name, who used to work for the New York Times, has come out and written kind of a tell-all that, we had tricks.
Oh, yes. I did see this weekend.
Tricks behind the scenes. Yep. I think it was, James called up, said he hadn't been watching TV in a while. I don't watch classic TV by any means, but I was watching Chris Williamson's podcast with Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
And they had both reached a very prominent position. And so they've both been attacked, Williamson more by the British press, given he's British, and Peterson by everybody in the Western world. And Peterson noticed that these folks really did have games they were playing with him. It wasn't an honest conversation he was having with them. You could be a journalist, I would hope, that does honest reporting. But so many of the folks at the top, it seems like their goal is not to tell the truth, but to get a scalp. And in fact, this lady who interviewed Peterson for the New York Times piece said, she years later admitted, we all working at the Times had a game where we would try to up our standing or status in society by lowering somebody else's.
There you go.
And it's y'all are just predators. Cheap social status predators.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing if somebody gets knocked down a peg because you tell the truth about them.
But if you have to create the truth.
Yeah, but if you're playing little word games and trying to get little snippets and like put together a tapestry or a mosaic that doesn't make any sense compared to the actual truth of a person, the hell is wrong with you?
But there's no repercussion for that. You know, even as a child, you misspeak, you do something stupid like that. My family got a whooping. You learned a lesson. Well, there is none on this. They just go and run back to their pack, and they send out another moron a little while later.
Well, and at least the Times are playing a high-level game. They're walking on a tightrope playing the games they play. But this guy at Deadspin, a sports writer, a grown man, to look at a kid and go, well, that reminds me of, that hails back to minstrel shows. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
There's your problem.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Joey, this is Fred.
Hey, Fred. How you doing?
I'm so tired of y'all beating up on Joe Biden. Man, come on. I can tell you something he does better than Trump.
Okay.
He imitates a Roomba way better than Trump.
Yeah, he does do a pretty good Roomba.
That's what he looks like when he's on the stage trying to find his way off.
I think, didn't Shane Gillis come up with that? I saw that the other night. It's freaking hilarious.
I saw it and about fell out of my chair.
Shane is great.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, but yeah, I don't know how they could sit there and maintain a straight face, or hell, even have a show. I mean, they're just the lies. I mean, it's not misinformation, it's not disinformation, nor is it malinformation. It's a lie.
Just a flat out lie. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, call it what it is.
Yeah. All right, fellas.
Thank you, Fred. Good call, Fred.
272-9228. And then also, I'm trying to figure out a system where I wake up in the morning because I was looking at Twitter immediately.
Yeah.
And it made me want to nuke the world.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Right. Let's just end it all.
Yep.
Like, none of you deserve anything.
Yep.
Myself included. Let's just nuke the world. But I've come up with new routines where I'll go listen to music, I'll go do some cardio, some stretching, lift weight.
How long till you grab your phone?
No, I look at my phone in the morning.
But I mean, until you start.
After I do that stuff now.
Good
so
idea.
it's usually like
hour or so, 2 hours,
couple hours.
Yes,
and
that's
then
a good idea.
And so I have a little bit of like dopamine and like I'm actually
you got a sense about yourself,
a good place. Yeah. And then I start looking at Twitter.
And then Joey, what happens?
Well, I still get a little the wrath, rage. I can kind of get why hatred has become so many people's muse these days, but and resentment too. It's an ugly thing.
Yeah, but it's true.
And by the way, I don't think the right or the left is immune from
No,
that.
no,
That's
no.
run
That's all the
through
way
the
around,
society.
baby. Yeah.
Resentment is an ugly thing that is very prominent these days. But do you remember what's this guy's name? Who's the guy that Tommy Tuberville beat?
Here?
Yeah, when Tommy Tuberville won the U.S. Senate seat.
Don Jones?
Don Johnson? No, that's Miami Vice.
Don.
Also, heartbeat, looking for a heartbeat. No, but we're not talking about that guy. It's not Don. It's
a Johnson, isn't it?
Dan Jones? Oh, wait, no, I've got it pulled up.
You got it pulled up?
Doug Jones.
That's right, Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
I remember that guy.
Oh, okay. And so he's got commentary here on a guy we talked about last week with Brian Dawson, Bob Vanderplat.
Yep.
Let's listen in, and then we'll get former U.S. Senator Jones. Doug Jones?
You sure it's Doug?
We'll get his commentary. But first, let's listen in on this clip.
But now when you come out against me, and by extension, the family leader.
Again, this is Vanderplat on Steve Day. So I have a lot of respect for Steve, talking about Trump in particular.
And saying that we're pay for play, we're bought and paid for, and this is how we do business. That's just beyond the pale. And that means when we say choose well 2024, everything here is not a trait of a leader. The former basketball coach in me, I used to tell my basketball kids all the time, your character will be most revealed under pressure. When you didn't make the shot, when it didn't go the call didn't go your way, what will your character be like under pressure? And what you're seeing from the former president is character being revealed. Character being revealed, first of all, with Governor Reynolds and what he did by cutting a video against her. Two of the most popular governors and the most results producing governors in the country. The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Iowa, Kim Reynolds. And you completely throw them under the bus and you call them names, and that just because they don't bow the knee to you. That's not leadership. And then because I don't endorse you, to throw me under the bus, my family under the bus, as well as our ministry under the bus, because we don't bow the knee to you. That tells me more than ever.
Again, this is an Iowa evangelical leader. He's picked the winner of the Iowa caucus for the last few cycles, and they've all gone on to not win the presidency.
Right.
But this is Bob Vanderplot's giving hell to Donald Trump.
This party and this country needs to choose well about who's going to be representing us as president of the United States. Because being president is just not a CEO. It's not just moving the embassy to Jerusalem, as much as we applaud that. It's not just appointing 3 Supreme Court justices, even though we applaud that. It's being a statesman. Are you worthy to be followed? Are moms and dads, grandpa and grandmas, are they willing to point to you and say, grow up to be like him or her? And I told people, Steve, in 2019 in Jerusalem, and we knew the 2020 election was coming upon us, and I told them the number one hurdle for Donald Trump is I've never met a dad or a mom or a grandpa or a grandma who have told me they want their son or daughter or grandchild to grow up to be like him. That's a big deal. And I think...
Again, the quote is, the number one hurdle for Donald Trump is that I've never met a mom or a dad, a grandpa or a grandma that have told me they want their son, daughter, or grandchild to grow up to be like them.
I never met anybody that told
like
me
him. Yeah,
they wanted their child to grow up like Biden. I've never had anyone tell me they wanted their child to grow up like Lincoln
or George W. Bush.
Right. I've never had that.
Well, Lincoln kind of dies early. You don't want that for
Washington,
a kid.
The horse teeth.
Oh yeah, and the slavery.
Johnson. I've never had no one tell me that Lyndon Johnson, they want their child to grow up like Lyndon
What
Johnson.
a disgusting human being that. Lady Bird was a true gentlewoman.
Geraldine Ferrero. Never had no one.
I want my kid to grow up just like Clinton.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, man, and Donald Trump taught me this more than anybody. The president that we have for our country, he's a human, for one. Let's start with that. He's not perfect by no means. But occasionally, you got to have a strong man, and we haven't had one since he left. We've got the weakest we've ever had. We might as well have a dead president in there. Let's bring him back. What's the worst that can happen? Tell me what the worst that can happen while he was there. Tell me the worst thing he did while he was there. If he did that again, is that so terrible?
But I'm leaving out the former senator. What's the guy's name again?
Don?
No.
Dan Johnson.
No, it's 4 letters. Is it Dick?
Dick Johnson. No.
Hold on. Oh, wait, it's Doug Jones. And Doug Jones had this to say, reacting to Bob Vanderplot's taking down Trump, saying, I've never heard a mom or grandma or granddad say, I want my kid to grow up to be like Donald Trump. Doug Jones writes, I got to admit, this guy has a really good point that I frankly have never thought of.
I've never had anyone in my life tell me they want to grow up be like Doug Jones. So.
Doug Jones goes on to say, I've met a lot of Trump supporters in the last few years, but none have expressed a desire to have one of their children grow up to be like him. How many have you guys met or even heard that wants that for their kid?
Well, hold on. Find me someone. You pick a basketball star if you want. Find me somebody that I can say I want my child to grow up just like them.
Right. Well, often parents don't say that because it's not realistic.
Right. Now, there's some qualities I sure want my son to have. Leadership qualities that Donald Trump has. Why wouldn't I want my son to have that?
And I know it's not the most evangelical Christian thing in the world to say, but it's a very American thing to say, that there has been an effort for the last, say, 4, 5, 6 years to suggest that being a billionaire is awful.
Another one, yeah.
I don't want my kid to grow up to be a billionaire who owns beauty pageants and casinos, as the #1 show on TV, who becomes president against all the odds. I'd never want my kid to succeed that much.
Right.
Think of all the women he slept with. How awful. Yeah, actually, I don't want that life. That life has a lot of cost to it. But are we really going to say with a straight face that a billionaire gets all the gals, builds buildings, and it has big stardom on TV? What an awful thing to aspire to. What American would ever want that? Give me a break.
He was everyone's hero until he ran for president, Joey. So
me a
all
frickin'
these two-faced people, they all kissed his butt and took his money until he ran for president.
And in fact, I remember criticizing a letter that was making the rounds, I think it was the 16 cycle, where it was a guy saying, yeah, I want my kids to grow up like Trump because Trump he's like a father figure I never had.
Well, then we need to mail that letter to this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we need to introduce him to this because to him, it's a phenomenon that doesn't exist.
I think Doug, Don, Dan, Dick Jones, he just...
Crenshaw.
No, that's the eye patch Republican guy.
Too many of them.
Former Navy SEAL.
Compromised.
No, I think all that he's really looking for is a heartbeat. Great song.
That was a great song, man.
Really good song.
Close.
Gotta love the 80s.
Good time.
This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, they can help you men out with your health. It's right there all in the name. I don't have to say anything else. Actually, what they specialize in is helping men who are experiencing low T.
Yep.
Low testosterone.
It happens perfectly normal with age.
It really does. And it also is happening at younger ages, not just in America, Canada, across the developed Western world, you're seeing lower and lower testosterone levels. Some people think it's microplastics, or in some cases it's drug abuse, and opiates in particular. In other cases, it just might be something in the water. You never know. But if you're young or you're starting to get 50s, 60s, maybe even your 40s, and you're noticing that you're just always run down, tired, you lack motivation to drive, like you're physically tired, mentally kind of just listless and challenged.
Happens, man.
And you might also realize, I don't have any desire to have sex, like low libido, like you're just never in the mood at all. That's not a great sign if you're supposed to be a young, healthy man.
Not at all.
So if you're experiencing these symptoms, why not go by Montgomery Men's Health today? For only $99, you can know your testosterone score. They'll also get you a PSA score. It's a great marker for prostate health.
It's just a little bit of a blood draw. That's all.
And if you do have low T,
they can fix you, man.
They've got treatments that can truly change your life. Most men, after these treatments, experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns. You might even notice an increased sex drive.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Joey.
There's a lot right with it. It does help.
It does.
To put it mildly.
It does.
So call up Montgomery Men's Health today, make an appointment, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to montgomerymenshealth.com and be sure to tell them, well, you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. You know, it's kind of fun and ironic that we're making fun of Doug Jones for being unknown when he's got a lot more Twitter followers and activity than either of us do combined. But
I can change that if you want.
How? You going to run my Twitter for me?
I'll just do something to go viral. And, you know, Doug Jones, the whole reason he had a lot of followers, he pissed a lot of people off. So they went to look at who this guy was and started following him just so they can keep their eye on the enemy.
No, but there's also still a latent kind of legacy left-wing element to Twitter X. As much as they are wailing and gnashing their teeth about Elon having taken things over. Yeah, they're, you know, if you've got left-wing opinions, you're usually pretty popular, especially like Alabama. If you're from Dixie and you believe what I believe here in Los Angeles. Now, I'm talking this way because I escaped Dixie and came out here to the City of Angels so I could do all my freaky deaky stuff and love everybody. I take it literally. I love everybody. And you're telling me that there are people actually still in Alabama that believe this stuff? I didn't have to move in the first place? Well, daggone.
Come on back.
Can I do all that freaky deaky in Titus?
Yeah, actually, we live and let live in Titus.
It takes all types. More News and Views in the afternoon. I mean, who would want their son to be a billionaire, gets all the ladies and builds buildings in the New York skyline? That's just crazy.
This guy.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with the updated market report. Over the past 11 and a half months, over 4,100 homes have sold and closed in our MLS system with an average price of $245,000. Houses are selling at listed price throughout the river region, and over 35% are selling in the first 30 days on the market. Rising interest rates tend to keep some people from buying, but it didn't stop over 4,100 families from buying this year. There's a cost to waiting and expecting rates to fall, and that cost is appreciation, which has been rising nearly every month for the last 2 years. So the house that you delay buying this year could cost you $35,000 more next year, even if the rate falls. One alternative is to buy now, refinance when rates improve, and that way you are not paying more for the house that you really wanted. For the facts, call Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228. Gumptown John saying, stop treating politicians like role models. I agree with that, Gumptown John. And Cindy Bishop said, I've never met a kid that said they wanted to grow up like anyone. How many have you met?
Unreal.
I guess kids do have role models. But
Well, I remember when Justin told me when he was 5 years old he wanted to be an elevator operator. I mean, yeah, with kids growing up, I wanted to be, Tonto. Couldn't do it. Had to do something that, provided a family and security, that kind of thing.
You wanted to be Tonto?
Yeah, man. I didn't want to be the Lone Ranger. I wanted to be Tonto. Lone Ranger was too white for me. Sorry.
No, I can relate to that. I want to be Michael Jordan for a time.
Yeah. Would you pick up a basketball and said, this isn't going to happen?
Actually, when I was a kid, I was damn good. Like I was very coordinated, and I would shoot from anywhere, and I had a pretty damn good shot. Then I started to grow, and all that went out the window. Like my ball handling skills, at least on the basketball court, just went out the window. And the 3-point shot did come back, but that was about it.
Shane Gillis has a good bit about that, and it played well with me and probably will with you. He was thought he was great in basketball until about 9th grade when this black dude dunked on him, and he realized that from then on, well, he'll just be a bench rider. And I was like, you know what? I remember that. I remember in Capitol Heights gym, this guy dunked on me, and that's the first time it ever happened. And yeah, I was never the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave up basketball early. I could have played through high school, but I didn't like the coach.
Yeah.
So, I'm not even going to name him. I think he's still in town.
I could have stayed too, but I
never
got
I
the
think
game.
Years later now, I think he's a nice enough guy, good guy. But yeah, at that moment, I'm like, I'm not playing for you. So,
Well, you taught him a lesson, didn't you?
Yeah. No, he tried to talk me into it. I'm like, no, man, I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, you idolize people. But I think the best thing to take away from, like a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant was another one of my basketball favorites. But anybody, whether it's art or sports or politics, whatever. Like I just read that Katie Britt book, and I told her that you're a little insane. Because when you read folks like her routine for running things in the business council or running like 2 kids in law school, and she lays out in detail kind of the checklist they'll go through in running a big organization. I'm like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And that's what you realize about hyper successful people. They work harder.
They generally
than
put
you.
in the time. There's no doubt.
You don't want to think that.
No, it's true.
And now in some cases they might work smarter than you, but generally if it's somebody like, upper echelon, the reason Elon's there, Steve Jobs, is they work harder than everybody else. Well, we'll see. But hey, let's go to Duke.
Hey, Duke.
Hey, Duke.
How you doing?
All right, how you doing, buddy?
I hear echo in the background. Something. What's going on?
I don't hear any echo.
Hear it.
Okay, it's going now, I guess.
Okay.
Well, somebody been picking on Brother Donnie from Queens today or something. What's up?
Well, it is a day that ends in Y, so yeah, there's been something nasty about him said, I'm sure, today.
Like people don't want to be like him or something. Kids don't want to be like Brother Donnie.
No.
Yeah, not one
really.
Trump supporter has told us I want my son to grow up to be like Donald Trump.
All right, told that one guy anyway.
Vanderplat.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I sat back for a few years watching Donnie for the last few years, since he got into politics heavily, and I've been observing this cat right here and watching all the people drawn to him and everything, even the church folks, and so we summed it up. He's a brother. He got some brother in it because he do things like the brother folks do, and hanging out with the sisters in the church crazy about him, and and some folks say they could grab him and all that stuff, and women wearing T-shirts and stuff, People love
You're leaving out that, I was honored to be at a birthday party for... you wouldn't guess this? I didn't think it would ever happen. Maya Angelou. I was good friends with her.
That's right. That's right.
So, Donnie, what's going on, man? How you doing, boy?
I think Trump's doing fine, actually. I mean, these court cases are all up in his hair, but I think he's powering on. It's more the folks that want to beat Trump who are a little worried. Like, we keep throwing everything at him, and he doesn't die.
Yep. Seem to be frustrated.
I mean, when he got people saying that he come before God, I heard that a few months ago, that people recognize Trump over God. So, so I
don't know
always
about
heard
that,
people want to be like Jesus. Huh? There wasn't that?
Maybe you've heard that. I just haven't.
We talked about it on this show now.
No, I mean I've never heard no one come to me and say I've seen Trump before God.
They ain't gonna tell you that in person, but they believe it though.
Yeah,
but if you can't really find nobody, then you just kind of telling the truth.
And also the whole WWJD thing was started by some socialist. It's one thing to say Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. That he died for my sins.
Okay.
So that I might have eternal life. But it's another thing, I'm going to be exactly like him. I'm like, I don't think you are, actually. I think that's denied you. You're not the son of God.
Skills. You're not going to be him.
I'm
sorry.
But and that's just the way it is. People like the tough boy for some reason, the tough guy. Joey, you need to start wearing your pants a little sagging and going on, boy. The girls will love you when you got your pants hanging off your ass, boy.
I don't think they will, Joe.
I don't think so either.
In fact, I think they might say some things to you.
There was a chick told my brother back in the day when my brother in college, so he, athlete, so he got to pull his pants up like the folks tell him to. But the girls told him that they don't like him because he don't have his pants hanging off his ass.
But with that being the case, okay, when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, yeah, I liked women to dress a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Now as an adult, I find it a little bit over the top.
No, and seriously, my mind is weird. Like, I saw these dolled up, dressed to the nines chicks at the Auburn game.
Oh, I bet
people
you
do
did.
dress up.
Yeah, I bet you did.
And where my mind goes, like, wonder what they look like, in the morning
Naked?
without makeup.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, naked too.
Okay.
But like I try not to go there too much. That's
the young.
When you sin in your heart and your mind, first.
Got the young girls walking around. Got the young girls walking around with wigs on. Yeah, they are not even in the junior high school yet. got wigs on already, you know.
I don't understand that either.
We were all over the place a little bit today, I know that, but
no, and one thing I've noticed, Duke, is Doug Jones seems very sour still over Tommy Tuberville beating him.
Bitter party of one?
Well, it's because Tuberville does commit gaffes, where he'll just say something that's stupid. And Doug Jones prides himself on being this brilliant legal mind and all this stuff. How do I lose to that guy? Because, well, it's more than just, you know, your well-spoken way of massaging the legal machine. People respect, say, a football coach.
Yeah.
And, you know, but an idiot could run, you know, a football program in the SEC, right?
Well,
not well.
Not well, but you get paid good.
Yeah, that's true.
Joey, I screenshot over you just then. I said, Coach Tub need to get him a damn coaching job somewhere. You know that. Leave politics alone.
No way. I like where he's at right now.
He's overdoing this thing.
I like what he's doing right now. And I think a lot of other people do too.
He's overdoing this thing with the military now. He needs to go on and leave that alone.
No, I think the Pentagon's overdoing this thing with the military.
Right. And I believe they're more likely to change their policy than Tommy.
You know. But anyway, I just checking in.
Okay, well.
Brother.
Well, I appreciate the call, dude. And I'll let you know if anybody actually sticks up for Donald Trump in the next few days. I know everybody's all hard on him, and I know you love him at the end of the day.
But honestly, though, this election is going to be crazy, though.
It's going to be, dude. It's going to be nuts, man. Imagine how it was, what was it, about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, that was crazy. You know, we like to elevate our crazy.
Yeah.
So look what's going to be coming, man.
Now, and I got a feeling like this upcoming debate, the next GOP debate will be in Alabama, in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, that's right. That's
and I'm seeing like Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be like, I went to the school of slap, and I know how to smack you and just smack your fat cheeks, Chris Christie, and just slap it. I'll slap you too, Nikki. Just slap happy. I want to see it.
That'd be all right.
Eric the dog. I need to holler at Eric the dog later on in the week. We're going to need to talk about this Georgia football team or something about, you know, helping us out a little bit.
Man, good luck.
Yeah, y'all going to win that, hopefully, to get into the playoff, but I don't know about that.
I don't know. Y'all better come hard and fast in the beginning.
Alabama's been calling me last couple days, want to talk a little trash.
It's a good strategy beyond football, too.
Yeah, you know.
True.
You know, they act like they won the game the other day, so they called it talking a little trash, so I want to, me and Eddie Dog, talk about this Georgia Bulldog thing, and see can we get a few windows knocked out or whatever, or trees pausing or whatever behind this thing, you know. Get something out of it, deal. You know, get something out of the deal.
Get something out of it.
Tell a few players to go back to the hood or something, you know, or whatever, you know.
Duke, by the way, before you go, I just
I want to
remember.
get some dirt from the Bama players after the game.
There you go.
Dang, somebody.
Well,
you know.
hold on, Duke. I just remembered something that I found today. Because didn't you call up yesterday and talk about Stevie Wonder coming to watch the game with you?
No, somebody else.
That was somebody else, but that was a good one.
Who
though.
was that?
Oh, man, I don't remember. That was a good one, though.
I heard it was good, man.
It was really good.
Okay. I got confused then. Like,
see.
who did call up to say about Stevie Wonder? Was
I
it
don't
Papa
know.
B?
No, I don't think it was Papa B either.
Anyway.
We got one, two over there, you know, almost smart as I am, you know.
Oh, no, St. James called up. It was St. James.
That's right. That's who it was. That's right.
Yes, I hope St. James is listening because this was yesterday with April Ryan to Mean Corinne Jean, or Corinne Jean-Pierre. And let's just let's listen to this question from April
Boy, she
Ryan.
looks happy.
This is in the White House press corps room. And is she wearing a mask?
Yes, and it takes up her whole face.
Keep going. You were talking to Stevie last night.
Black agenda falling along the wayside, and issues like laws of 50 years ago that are now being abolished or gutted, to include issues like the Voting Rights Act, what happened in Arkansas last week, affirmative action, Supreme Court, as you've seen it, ban on books, and he's also even brought up issues of the Congo and the lack of information from the White House. Is the White House amenable to sitting down with Stevie Wonder, who has met with presidents throughout history, to include Ronald Reagan? He was one of the major impetus for getting the holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And also, he was one of those who worked with President Obama in his efforts to become president.
Was this a question or a speech? So essentially, she was talking to Stevie Wonder last night, and Stevie is not happy, in particular, with this administration. They're failing black folks, and the gains won over the last glorious 50, 60 years.
Okay.
So Stevie Wonder, folks.
I would think Stevie Wonder could literally just pick up the phone and call Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I think he's got that kind of clout.
Right.
And if I'm Joe Biden, I answer the phone.
But I hear that Stevie gets up early in the morning, that's so right. I don't know if that's going to work for Joe.
That's right. He don't care what time it is.
I don't know if y'all seen the Dr. Dre video with Kevin Hart lately, but yeah.
He don't care what time it is. It's always dark.
Well,
yes, sir.
It's just silly.
Yeah, fella. I'm about to roll.
All right, Duke.
Later, Duke.
Later, brother man.
272-9228. Ah, crap, we got to hit a break.
You and your breaks.
Yeah, but first, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there, Dylan Rings. Now, we told you earlier, but we want to tell you again that when it comes to Dylan Rings, they are a full-service jewelry shop.
Yes, they are, Joey.
Now, they can even do things like watch repairs.
Oh, that's cool.
It doesn't have to be the latest jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like your gentleman in your life. His watch all of a sudden stops working, especially if it's it's not like a Timex you bought for $50. This is like a nice watch.
I think I'm going to go take Josh my swatch.
They can work on that there at Dylan Rings. Now, what I'm doing right now, though, folks, is I'm typing into Instagram Dylan Rings so I can see the latest they've put out there.
Good idea.
Of course, they're on Facebook as well as on the Instagram. 119 Brown Springs Road if you want to see all this stuff in person. But I'm just looking at some amazing jewelry pieces. Dazzle and elegance with our exquisite diamond icicle earrings. Wow. Wow. They're timeless statements of sophistication. Limited offer. There's a special sale price of $1,345. And you can keep going down the list. There's another ring here, a yellow gold mosaic diamond ring. $1,250. Now, $625. So there's some incredible pieces that are now some 50% off, some 60% off. But from 10 to 60% off, they're extending these sales all the way to the 23rd of December. So if you want to get your Christmas shopping done, you got to check out Dylan Rings. Again, you can kind of shop online by seeing what they got on Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
But the best way to work with Dylan Rings is stop by 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. I remember it's kind of where the old fun zone used to be. Mm-hmm. That big old platform's still there. But be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. Anything important there?
Yeah, Linda says, go Trump, and roll tide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just found the whole, let's take up a bunch of time. Stevie Wonder said this thing. And, it's the whole celebrity thing. It's like John Voight is voicing support for conservatives.
Well, I
was
remember
okay, good for John Voight, but...
Kim Kardashian got in with Trump and helped out some things, but at the end of the day, you know what? It was Kim Kardashian, so...
I just don't get the whole, Taylor Swift said so we have to go vote this way. The whole celebrity thing, to me, rings hollow. Oh no, Cardi B has turned on Biden. Cardi B has turned on Biden.
Imagine that.
It's... yeah. It's dried up.
That's all I can think.
Hey, let's hit the break.
All right.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas weather.
Below normal temperatures will continue at least through Thursday, but at least we're storm-free until late week. Today, more sunshine, quite cool but not cold, high 57. Tonight will be the coldest night of the week with a low temperature in the upper 20s by dawn, clear skies. Wednesday's high 59, more sun, low 60s Thursday, still dry during the day. Then showers and thunderstorms become likely by late Thursday night into Friday. That's round one. Second round of rain returns on Saturday and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Sam, and I am so excited to tell you the last car I bought, it came from Riverside Chevrolet. Now get a load of this. Not only do they have a friendly staff that will answer any question at Riverside, they also have a finance department second to none, and a service department that's rated #1. Anything from pre-loved to brand spanking new, cars, trucks, vans, they have it all. And at Riverside Chevrolet, you get first-class service. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net or check them out on Facebook. Great reviews, you'll love it.
Hey y'all, this is Tammy at Mama's Produce, and it's a new season here. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here through the fall. We've got all of your tailgate needs. We've got breakfast needs. Don't forget we got new sausages in. Those sausages we had last year, they're back. Still got your tomatoes, other fresh vegetables, and we're going to have some new things coming online, so stay tuned to our Facebook page and look out.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Now, we mentioned this earlier with Judge Knapp.
Yeah.
This is the Secretary of Education for Biden.
Oh, yeah. Genius.
And unless he's like playing 4D chess or he's like irony on top of ironies, let's just listen in.
Okay.
This is him selling the job they're doing at the education department.
You know, we're going to set up follow-up calls with every governor we met with to make sure we're available. As I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help. There are resources there.
Really? Did he just say that with a straight face?
He sure did.
As President Reagan said?
The government.
Yeah.
We're here to help.
Now, doesn't that make you feel...
As President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help.
Make you feel really good that, hey, they're here to help, Joey? Has anyone ever told you that and made you feel better?
Yeah, and again, Community Notes for the win said, the additional context, here's the actual full quote, folks. It's from August of 1986 at a press conference. It's actually a critique of government intervention. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. Yeah. It is amazing that some folks Well, don't know how this stuff actually works. That's the guy in charge of running the Department of Education.
Can you say just don't get it?
Was he dumb? Was he being dishonest? I don't know. Here's that actual press conference, folks. That moment. The Reagan Library has all these select moments and quotes.
Oh.
He said,
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Heck of a preview.
Yeah, it is.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Yeah.
It's the truth, man.
That's the actual right out of Ronald Reagan's mouth.
I mean, and that's the absolute truth, Joey.
Yeah.
If FBI knocks on your door, I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Right.
Help me how? You're going
to
invite me with Rice Krispie treats to your militia meetup so we can go kidnap the governor or
Don't call me a Fed. Don't call me a Fed. Exactly.
Oh, let's go to Gene. Hello, Gene.
Hey, Uncle Joey. How's that baby?
Oh, the baby is doing great. It was so great to introduce a great-grandchild to her great-grandfather.
What's her name?
Lucy Carol Clark.
Beautiful name.
Lucy Carol Clark.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Beautiful name.
And I think it's Caroline's grandmother and my mother. That's the name there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I'm glad they did middle name for my mom's name,
Yeah.
because having to call that
Yeah.
little Carol would have been a little odd for me.
That's right. That's good. Okay, darling, I just wanted to know.
Well-
Be careful here.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Gene.
Bye.
Can you get in touch with Prattville Carpet before we run out of time here? Because I'm thinking we are quickly running out of time. Only a few shopping minutes left in the show. Happy Hour with Greg Budell and the lovely and talented Rosie Brock. They are coming up before too long here. I'm just trying to see if I missed anything today. I mean, there's a lot going on we didn't get into. I love this headline from Fox News, and it's so bad. This is one of those headlines, Eddie, where it's just like, you corporate BSers.
Really?
Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
Haley lands powerful grassroots endorsement as DeSantis rivalry heats up.
Big grassroots endorsement, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who would that be from?
The Koch brothers.
What's grassroots about them?
Well, they run Americans for Prosperity, right? They fund it, so that's grassroots.
They love a good scorched earth.
It's like
policy,
AstroTurf grassroots.
too.
And everything's fake.
That is so
It's
fake.
all so fake.
It's so fake.
All right, we've got grassroots support for this up-and-coming wrestler who's backing him, Vince McMahon. The Democrats have grassroots support from George Soros. Give me a break.
Again, Fox News thinks you're an idiot because they think you're going to fall for this.
Yeah, and it's all these PACs. This is exactly Vivek Ramaswamy's point.
My problem, too.
Trump's point, too. That these PACs, well, Ramaswamy's gone in deep because he didn't realize it when he started running. No, these PACs are essentially running these campaigns. Like, they're not supposed to coordinate. They're the ones setting up the dinners. They're the ones setting up the speeches, setting up the flights. They're running it.
Yeah, they're doing it all.
Just a joke. Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Good. We just got back from a Celebrate Life for Miss O'Brien, our first grade teacher that went to be with the Lord a couple of days ago.
Okay.
91 years old. You can't ask for more than that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
That's
good
a full
long
life
life.
right there.
And I think she'd live to 100 if she didn't have me and Ron in her first grade class.
Well, at least you can admit it.
Yeah, I remember one time for some reason, she was past. We went to a small school called Grace Baptist back in the day, small Christian school.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 20 kids in the class, maybe 15. We all know each other. We still know each other. We're all close. But Ron, we had a substitute. Ron came to me and he says, "I hate this teacher." I said, "Okay." He said, "Well, I'm going home." I said, "Okay, go home." So he left, and I went to class, and we're sitting there, and she says, "Don't you have a person that looks just like you in this class?" I said, "Yeah, my brother. He said he hates you," and he went home. It was great. They dragged me all over that school looking for that boy.
Oh, I bet.
When they found him, when they found him, he was asleep under the piano. They had like a curtain to hide the piano. He was asleep behind the curtain when they found him, and he got a spanking from
I bet
everybody.
he did.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
and I was just making sure I was thought my hand was up. I'm Ray. I didn't leave.
I'm the good one.
I got a couple. Hey, I got a couple spankings as kids for what Ron did.
Oh, yeah, I
and
bet.
his dad gave me a second spanking for lying to him because he said I was all, no, I'm Ray. So he gave me a spanking for lying that I was saying I was Ray. And when he figured out what he had done, I got over murdered that month.
Well, and we're running out of time here, so you also still sell carpet?
We do. Give us a call, 285-8117. You'll be celebrating the new buy of carpet if you do that. And like I say, if you were an Old Grace person, Miss O'Brien did pass. And we love her to death. She was a good lady and comes from a good family. So just letting you guys know that she's gone to be with Brother George.
Well, I appreciate the call, Ray, and we'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
See you, Ray.
Bye.
Getting that number for Prattville Carpet, folks. 285-8117. Be sure to tell them you're Ray here on the radio with Joey and Eddie. And we got to get out of here.
Gotta go, man.
Happy hour with Greg Budell. He's next.